whether you belong to engineering, pharmacy, architecture, management, arts, science, commerce, social sciences, any program, you have to implement outcome-based education. In outcome-based education, the first and foremost important part is curriculum design. Curriculum design. Okay. Then we have to totally reorient ourselves when we design the curriculum in outcome-based format. In the traditional curriculum, there is only syllabus, nothing else. But in outcome-based education, you have to write course outcomes, program outcomes, qualification descriptors or program educational objectives and mapping. You have to calculate attainment of course outcomes and program outcomes. So a lot of work has to be done by the teacher. So in outcome-based education, there are three components. One is curriculum design. Second one is outcome-based teaching learning strategies, for which we have to totally reorient ourselves from lecture method towards active learning strategies. Then outcome-based assessment, continuous assessment as well as comprehensive assessment. NEP has stressed that continuous assessment should be given more weightage than comprehensive assessment in a single test. With this brief introduction, I shall proceed with the presentation of my lecture in the form of a PPT. Friends, are you able to see my slide?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Yeah. Am I audible to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So now I am changing the slide. Yeah, is the slide changed?
It had changed, but you can better go for the slideshow mode.
But full slide mode is not possible with the Zoom in my computer.
Okay, go ahead. Thank
right.
you.
So earlier also we tried, but it was not possible, right? So when we talk about outcome-based education, we always start with the definition by Spady, W.G. Spady in 1994. He has written a good book. The reference is given beneath. Right. Outcome-based education means that we clearly focus and organize everything in an educational system around what is essential for the students to be able to do successfully at the end of significant learning experiences. There are two phrases here. One is the students to be able to do, and the other one is at the end of significant learning experiences. What does it mean? As teachers, we have to provide learning experiences to the students. It's not delivering the lecture and leaving the hall. We have to provide activities. We have to plan activities, facilitate the activities done by the students inside the classroom and outside the classroom. That is important. Only and several learning experiences. Wherever there is laboratory component, in the laboratory, wherever field work, theory courses, community service, right? Value education, games, sports, all. When you talk about curriculum, all come into picture. NUP has clearly mentioned that. Even community service is very, very important part of the curriculum. There is nothing like extracurricular. Everything is part of the curriculum. Right? That means we start with a clear picture of what is important for students to be able to do, and then we organize curriculum. That is the first thing, curriculum design. Then we organize instruction, that is our teaching learning strategies. And we also organize assessment, continuous assessment, as well as comprehensive assessment. All these put together, we call outcome-based education. Then we ensure that learning ultimately happens among the students. That is important. Right. Outcome-based education system aims at developing a clear set of essential learning outcomes around which all the education system's components can be focused. We have to establish the conditions and opportunities within the educational system. Conditions and opportunities. Digital classrooms. Modernized laboratories. Games and sports facility, gymnasium for all the students, yoga center, meditation hall, all the facilities, library facility with latest books, digital library, reading hall, learning spaces within the university, all we must provide. So that when we provide all the conditions and opportunities within the education system, that will encourage the students to achieve the essential learning outcomes. Then the question is, what are these learning outcomes? We should have clarity about that. What exactly are learning outcomes? Outcomes are clear learning results that as teachers, we want the students to demonstrate at the end of significant learning experiences. Outcomes are what learners can actually do with what they know and have learned. They are the tangible applications of what has been learned. This means outcomes are actions and performances that reflect the learner's competence in using the ideas, content, tools successfully. So this is what exactly we mean by outcomes. All of us must have clarity about what are learning outcomes. Only then we can design the curriculum based on the learning outcomes. Learning outcomes, right? Not objectives. Objectives are related to the course. Outcomes are in terms of the student's achievement. Right. Revised Bloom's taxonomy of learning levels is widely accepted by the educators to formulate the learning outcomes of any given course. Therefore, we must understand the revised Bloom's taxonomy of learning levels. Right. Level 1, remember level. Bloom defined this as the lowest level of learning or mastery of the subject. That means ability to remember the content without any understanding. The next higher level is understand level. Ability to understand the subject and explain in one's own words and with new examples. The next higher level is apply level. The level in which the student will be able to apply the learned concepts to new context, unknown context. That is apply level. Then analyze level. Next higher level than apply level. The students will be able to break the information into parts and determine how the parts relate to one another and to the overall structure. That is like analysis of case studies, interpretation of the results, analyzing the results. All that comes under analyze level. Next higher level is evaluate level. The students will be evaluate different designs, models, procedures, software, algorithms, products, and judge which is superior to the others. There is judgment part involved in evaluate level. Evaluate a given product as per the existing standards and benchmarks. Then create level, next higher level than evaluate level. The students will be able to synthesize new materials, new products, generate new models, new software, new designs of a product. This is at create level, right? So there are 6 levels. There is hierarchy among the learning levels as given by Bloom. It helps, Bloom's classification helps teachers to plan different levels of mastery of the subject to be achieved by the students according to teachers' expectations. Accordingly, the teacher will select suitable, appropriate instructional materials, teaching learning strategies that we call pedagogy, and also assessment methods. This Bloom's taxonomy also helps students to know as to what levels of mastery of the course they must learn. Accordingly, they will put in necessary time, use suitable materials and strategies for learning. So it helps both teachers and students. As these levels of mastery of the subject are related to thinking, these are called cognitive levels. So recap, what are the 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy, sir? The lowest, from lowest to highest, let us start. Remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. Remember, understand, apply are considered to be most basic. Therefore, they are called lower order thinking skills, lots, whereas analyze, evaluate, and create are considered to be more complex. Therefore, they are called higher order thinking skills, arts, right? So please note that when you design the course learning outcomes, you should have at least 1 or 2 of higher order thinking skills also. And course learning outcomes should not consist remember level. Please note this point. Now, I am explaining how to write which kind of action verbs, examples of action verbs. We always write learning outcomes using action verbs. So Bloom has given the examples of action verbs for each cognitive level, right? For each cognitive level, remember level, what are the action verbs at remember level? Define, state, list, name, identify, recognize, etc. Then understand level, explain, classify, describe, discuss, give examples, etc. Then apply level, apply, interpret, solve, show, predict, employ, etc. Analyze level, analyze, calculate, compare, differentiate, etc. Evaluate level, evaluate, judge, conclude, assess, etc. Create level, highest, create, design, develop, devise, synthesize, etc. These are only examples. The complete list given by Bloom is available in the internet. Right? My dear friends, here you must observe one very, very important point. I draw your kind attention. That is, remember cognitive level is there, but among action verbs, remember should not be used because you cannot give a question such as remember so and so theorem. You cannot give a question. You give a question as state so and so theorem. Therefore, remember should not be used as action verbs against the cognitive level. Cognitive level, remember, is okay. But against that cognitive level, as action verb, remember should not be used. Other action verbs are given here, you can use them. Remember is not listed there. Similarly, at understand level, understand should not be used as action verb because you cannot give a question, because learning outcomes have to be tested in the form of questions. Can you give a question? Understand so and so procedure? No. Explain so and so procedure. Discuss so and so thing. Therefore, understand also should not be used as action verb against cognitive level understand. These are the common errors which most of the faculty commit. Please don't commit that common error. When you consider apply can be used as action verb also. Analyze can be used as action verb also because you can give a question. Analyze so and so characteristics. Right? Analyze so and so data. You can give a question. Apply so and so formula to solve the problem. You can give a question, no issue. Therefore, apply, you can use action verb. Analyze, you can use action verb. Evaluate, you can use as action verb. Create also, you can use as an action verb. Right? It's a very important point. Remember and understand should not be used as action verbs. Now, I have developed certain guidelines. You will not find these guidelines in any textbook or in the internet, except in my own video published in YouTube. Guidelines to write the learning outcomes for any course. Right? What are the guidelines? 12 guidelines. Please, if you understand these 12 guidelines thoroughly, conceptually, you can write standard course learning outcomes, error-free course learning outcomes. Guideline 1, write the learning outcomes in terms of what the learner does. What the learner does after undergoing a particular course or unit of the course. This is called performance part. Then guideline 2, we must use common stem. Instead of repeating the same statement every time again and again, we can use common stem for all the learning outcomes. What is the common stem? After completing this course, the student should be able to. That is the common stem. Right. Then third guideline, the learning outcome consists of 3 parts in general, namely performance part, condition part, and criterion part. Performance part includes an action verb and subject content. That's all, nothing else. Whereas condition part, the conditions under which the learner will perform using a resource, using a database, using a software, using literature, right? Using a principle, particular principle. Right? So if that is necessary, you have to mention that. That is the condition part. In a particular context, in common engineering design situations, that is the context. That also is called condition part. So condition part has to be used whenever necessary. If you don't use that, then it is meaningless. In such cases, you have to mention the condition part under which the learner will perform the action. Then criterion part. It means how well the learner will perform in terms of quality parameter. The students will be able to perform to an accuracy of 99%. Quality parameter, you have to mention that. The students will design the circuit without any error. Quality parameter. The students will devise algorithm without any error. The students will write a coherent paragraph without any error, without any grammatical error in English language. That is criterion part. So, performance part is necessary in all the course learning outcomes, whereas condition part and criterion part wherever necessary. That is regarding the third guideline. Fourth guideline, the learning outcome must be achievable by the students. When I say by the students, by majority of the students, by 80% of the students, the learning outcome must be achievable. That is very important. Therefore, what is the educational implication for this? During the first year undergraduate program, we should not use create level, because 80% of the students will not be able to achieve at create level during the first year undergraduate program. Maybe in third year, fourth year, you can use evaluate level and create levels. In projects, you can always use evaluate level and create level. So please note this point. Don't be over ambitious. During first year, you limit yourselves up to analyze level, apply and analyze level. That is good enough. The learning outcome must be measurable. You should be able to give a question using that particular action verb. Choose suitable action verb, which I have explained a little while ago. Please do not use action verbs such as remember, understand, know, acquire, appreciate, think, believe, realize, gain, etc., which are not measurable. This is again a common error. Learn. Some faculty will write, the students will be able to learn. Right? Learn is the process, not the outcome. They will say gain knowledge. Gaining knowledge is the process, not the outcome. Outcome is demonstrate knowledge. They will be able to demonstrate knowledge. That is the outcome. You have to distinguish between the process and the outcome. Process is important, no doubt. But when you write the learning outcomes, action verbs, right? So you have to use the action verbs which are measurable, which reflect the outcomes, not the process. Sixth guideline, fix the learning level first, whether remember level, understand level, or apply level, analyze level, or evaluate level, or create level. First, you fix that. Then use the suitable action verb as per the Bloom's taxonomy list. There is no confusion. Why I am mentioning this is Bloom has given the same action verb under more than cognitive level. So you fix the cognitive level, look at the action verbs list, choose one among them, no issue. No confusion. For that reason, I have put this guideline. Seventh guideline, start writing each learning outcome with an action verb of the performance part. with an action verb of the performance part. Eighth guideline. In general, use only one action verb corresponding to the cognitive level. Don't use too many action verbs. I have seen in one of the management courses of a reputed university, the students will be able to remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, etc. like that. There is a hierarchy, as I mentioned. Once you write at analyze level, it means apply level, understand level, remember level, or achieve. If you write at evaluate level, the lower cognitive levels like analyze, apply, understand, and remember are achieved. Therefore, the actual cognitive level which you are aiming, you fix that, use the corresponding action verb, only one action verb. Of course, analyze and interpret, both are at the same cognitive level, no issue. Ninth guideline. The learning outcome must be easily understood by students without any ambiguity. Whatever you mean, whatever the students understand should be the same. Right? Therefore, the teacher, in my opinion, must have very good command on the medium of instruction. If your medium of instruction is Hindi, you should have very good command on Hindi language. If your medium of instruction is English, you should have very good command on English language. Very important, sir. When you have good command, then you can write simple way, simple sentences you will write, which can be easily understood by the students. 10th guideline, for each learning outcome, cognitive level, that is learning level, must be mentioned within the brackets so that the students know at what cognitive level they should learn. Accordingly, they will put in the necessary effort. Teacher also knows when you put it within the bracket cognitive level, what kind of teaching learning strategies have to be used, what kind of assessments have to be used. Teacher also knows. It helps both teacher and students. The course outcome, understand level and higher. Higher is not shown here. It is hidden. Understand level and higher. Please note this point. Not at understand level. Understand level and higher. The number of course outcomes may be 5 or 6 for a 3 or 4 credit course. You may have 2 credit courses also, like environmental studies, value education, games and sports. 2 credits courses also you may have. For 2 credits course, 3 or 4 course learning outcomes are sufficient. Only for 3 or 4 credit courses, you need 5 to 6 course learning outcomes. Please note once again, performance part is essential and condition part and criterion part wherever necessary. Any subject content discussed in the class and remembered and recalled by the student, the cognitive level is remember only. The cognitive levels apply, analyze, evaluate, create, always refer to unknown contexts, familiar but not discussed in the class, and real-time problems. In the students' projects, mini projects or major projects, there is a large scope for the learning outcomes at higher cognitive levels like create level and evaluate level. Therefore, the cognitive level of each learning outcome has to be carefully understood by the teacher while formulating the learning outcomes of any course. And that cognitive level must be mentioned against each learning outcome. The students will then be able to understand clearly as to what cognitive levels they have to reach in that particular learning outcome. Right? Sir, So far, I have explained the revised Bloom's taxonomy of learning levels and the suitable guidelines, 12 guidelines to write the learning outcomes. With this understanding, you should be able to write standard course learning outcomes, error-free course learning outcomes as per the procedure accepted all over the world in outcome-based education. Now, when I give you some examples related to each category, science, engineering, social sciences, humanities, management, one example for each, then your understanding will be better. Examples always help us to understand things better. Therefore, I am now going to give you the examples. Course learning outcomes, a few examples. First course. Course name, design and analysis of algorithms. Then we mention course outcomes, COs. So first we write common STEM. After completion of this course, students should be able to or will be able to. What is this? This is common STEM. This common STEM must be used. Common STEM means common to all the course learning outcomes. Common statement to all the course learning outcomes. So once you write that, it is implied, it is applicable to all course learning outcomes. Should be able to. So first course out, CO1, demonstrate is the action verb. A familiarity with major algorithms and data structures is the subject content. Action verb and subject content. What is it called? Performance part. So only performance part is used here. Why? Condition and criterion are not necessary here. Therefore, we have used only performance part. Then second CO is apply. Apply is the action verb. Important algorithmic design paradigms and methods of analysis. Cognitive level is apply level. This is also performance part. Then third CO, analyze is the action verb. The asymptotic performance of algorithms, that is the subject content. Again, performance part only. Cognitive level, analyze. Write, action verb, CO4. Rigorous correctness proofs for algorithms, that is the subject content. Again, performance part only. What is the cognitive level? Apply level. You see, fifth CO, synthesize efficient algorithms without any error. Without any error. That means quality parameter has come in. So without any error is the criterion part. You want the students to learn to that perfection. Then you write this without any error. Then in common engineering design situations, that is the context. That means that is the condition part. Suppose you remove the word. In common engineering design situations, you remove synthesize efficient algorithms without any error. Does it have any meaning? What for you they design efficient algorithm? For what application? For what purpose? You have to mention that. If you do not mention, it is incomplete. Therefore, in common engineering design situations has to be mentioned. Condition part has to be mentioned. And you want the students to learn to that perfection, that they develop algorithms without any error. Right. So that is criterion part. So fifth CO indicates that the CO consists of performance part, condition part, and criterion part. This is an example where all the three are used. Whereas all the other four COs consist of only performance part. So with this example, I wanted to explain very clearly condition part, criterion part, and performance part, and common stem. So the guidelines are, all the 12 guidelines are applicable here. I have mentioned cognitive level within the bracket. I have mentioned common stem. I have mentioned action verb in the beginning itself. So all the 12 guidelines are applied here. So this is a standard course outcomes for the design and analysis of algorithms at BTech level. Then another example for science group. See, the participants are always of diverse disciplines. All will not be only engineering. There may be from science, there may be from social sciences, humanities. Therefore, I give examples from each category. Now, here, analytical chemistry I have chosen at MSc level, course outcomes. This is common STEM. After completion of the course, students will be able to common STEM, apply action work, apply the principles of data analysis, etc. It's only performance part, apply level. Apply basic concepts of volumetric and gravimetric analysis, apply level. Select suitable spectroscopic technique and interpret the results obtained, analyze level. Interpret the results of thermal methods of analysis, analyze level. Interpret the results of different electroanalytical methods of analysis, analyze level. Evaluate the suitability and appropriateness of different methods of analysis for a given application in industry, evaluate level. You see here, all belong to performance part only. No condition part, no criterion part. And you see here, apply level, 2 apply level, 3 analyze level, 1 evaluate level, 6 course outcomes. There is not even single one at understand level or remember level should never be used in course learning outcomes. Then this is an example for social sciences. Faculty may be from social sciences. This is an example. Comparative politics, course learning outcomes. See, on successful completion of the course, students should be able to common STEM, describe and assess the study of comparative politics in a systematic socio-scientific way, understand level. Examine key issues in comparative politics, analyze level. Identify interesting research questions in comparative politics, understand level. Evaluate the usefulness of various theoretical approaches to address research questions, analyze level. Describe a variety of political systems around the world, cognitive level, understand level. Explain how democratic and non-democratic regimes emerge and survive, understand level. You can see here. 3 understand level, 3 analyze level. So even in social science course, you can write course learning outcomes at analyze level. Please note this point. Then educational psychology, another social science course. After completion of this course, students will be able to common STEM, analyze the classroom process, including teacher effectiveness, school and organizational factors, analyze level, critically evaluate psychological models and methods of assessment, evaluate level, demonstrate a critical understanding of psychological interventions with additional support needs, etc., understand level, demonstrate a critical understanding of psychological theories involved, different apply level, explain how to measure and empirically research issues, etc., understand level. So if you understand level, apply level, analyze level, and evaluate level, not even single one at remember level. Then principles of management, course outcomes, common STEM. After completion of this course, students will be able to common STEM, integrate management principles into management practices, apply level, assess global situation, including opportunities and threats that will impact any organization, right? Analyze level. Assess managerial practices and choices relative to ethical principles and standards. Analyze level. Specify how managerial tasks of planning, organizing, and controlling can be used in a variety of circumstances. Apply level. Evaluate different approaches to addressing issues of diversity. Evaluate level. Evaluate the global context for taking managerial actions of planning, organizing, and controlling. Evaluate level. You can see here. Apply level, analyze level, and evaluate level only. Not even a single course outcome at remember level and understand level. Very standard course on principles of management. Then English for technical communication for humanities. Example for humanities. Even if it is Hindi, you can use the similar way. Marathi, you can use in a similar way. Analyze level is possible. At the end of this course, students will be able to explain basic principles of grammar and vocabulary, understand level. Write clear and coherent paragraphs, apply level. Write effective resume, cover letter, and letters for a variety of purposes, apply level. Prepare technical reports and interpret graphs, apply level. Develop reading comprehension skills, apply level. Develop English speech sounds, stress, and intonation, apply level. 1 understand level and 5 apply level. Okay. If it is a literature, Marathi literature or Hindi literature, then you can use analyze level, analyzing the characters, analyzing the style, like that. You can use analyze level for all literature courses. Right? It is possible. I was involved in discussing the course outcomes of different languages, Telugu language, English language, Hindi language, when I was the consultant with University of Hyderabad, right? It is possible to write analyze level course learning outcomes. Then, now so far, I have explained what is outcome-based education, what do we understand by course learning outcomes or course outcomes. Then I have given explanation of the revised Bloom's taxonomy of learning levels. Then I have given the 12 guidelines for writing the course learning outcomes. Then I have shown you examples for every category of disciplines, right, with these examples and the guidelines, understanding of mastery of learning levels. You will be able to easily write now the course learning outcomes. If you have any questions up to this, please note down in your notebook. There will be question answer session at the end. I will answer that question. If you want to clarify now itself, yes, you can clarify any point related to what has been discussed so far. Any questions, please, so far? Shall I proceed then? Okay.
Just one question.
Yes,
if you could
yes.
please permit.
Yes, yes.
Right now, we are the MBA program.
Yeah.
PG program in management.
Yeah.
And what we have been following so far for last 3 years.
Yeah.
After the new syllabus has been introduced by the university.
Yeah.
Is a combination of only 4 COs as prescribed by the university itself in the syllabus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only 4 COs.
That is wrong.
And this was prescribed by the university, therefore we blindly followed it.
That is wrong.
That's one. Number 2, these COs are based on units. Because the syllabus is designed in 4 units.
Yeah.
So each CO addresses 1 unit.
Yeah. Yeah, understood. Yeah.
Now we have discussed in our department, and based on the inputs that we received during different workshops like this one is going on.
Yeah.
And we decided that we will redesign the COs this year.
Yes.
In this session 24-25.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. Excellent.
But syllabus will remain the same because it is university
okay.
prescribed and we are the affiliated college.
That's okay.
So syllabus will not change. Now my question is, should we have 6 COs addressing to 6 Bloom's taxonomy levels, or we should have only 5 COs addressing to the 6 Bloom's technology, Bloom's level terminology, including remembering in the first, remembering and understanding in the first CO itself. That's one. And two, should we change developing our COs from unit-based to content-based?
Yeah.
You know, we can pick up contents from the syllabus and design our COs. And if we design that like I did for one subject, what I found that the order in which these COs appear because of the syllabus is not the order in which the Bloom's taxonomy levels are there. So should we change the order of the COs also according to the Bloom's taxonomy level from lower order to higher order, and the COs as well, and accordingly, you know, discuss the contents in the classroom and create the learning experience? So that's my question.
It is an excellent question. I'm happy that you have asked now itself. It is right time that you have asked. I appreciate the questioner. The answer is like this. When you frame the syllabus, there is an order of learning. There is a sequence of learning the concepts. Am I correct?
Yes, that should be.
That should be.
Yeah.
Therefore, that should not be changed. The sequence of order of learning the concept should not be changed.
Okay.
The second point is the COs should not be based on unit.
Okay.
COs should be based on the entire syllabus.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Third point, the first unit may have understand level. The second unit may have second outcome may be analyze level. Third outcome may be apply level. Fourth outcome may be again analyze level. It is not necessary that CO1 at understand level, CO2 apply level, CO3 at analyze level, CO4 at... That is not necessary at all.
Okay. Okay.
But remember level, you should not have course outcomes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Understand level and higher level.
Yeah.
And you consider the entire course as one.
Okay.
And number of units may vary depending upon the course. It need not be 4 units. It can be 5 units. It can be 6 units. No issue.
But then that's the limitation for us because we are an affiliated institution.
Yeah. Actually, the university, I am advising several universities also. Central University of Karnataka, IIIT Hyderabad, and University of Hyderabad, JNTU Hyderabad, Usmania University Hyderabad, several universities I've been at VNR Vijnana Jyoti, which is an autonomous college. Yeah, there also, the dean said, we have uniformly, all the courses will be divided into 4 units and 4 course outcomes. Then I have discussed with them. It depends upon the nature of the subject. Based on the uniformity, you are killing the creativity. You are killing the flexibility necessary for each course. Each course is unique by itself. Management course is different. Computer science course is different. English course is different. Right? The nature of discipline itself is different. Therefore, first thing is the flexibility in the number of units. That is how, under my guidance, University of Hyderabad, a premier university, they have followed. IIIT Hyderabad has followed. Central University of Karnataka has followed. Right? So flexibility in the number of units. So your university, I mean, there must be affiliated colleges should also have voice. Autonomous colleges principals also should have voice to express good things. Right? Universities also have to learn from autonomous colleges and affiliated colleges. I know some of the autonomous colleges syllabi are much better than the university syllabus. Okay. So autonomy, then what is the point of autonomy? Autonomy means everything is decided by the college. Curriculum design, teaching, learning strategies, assessment strategies. Only degree is given by a university. In some other countries, even degree also is given by the autonomous college. Okay, that is different matter. We have to reach that stage, right? So now you are summing up the entire thing. Even the first unit can have apply level. First CO may be apply level. Second CO may be understand level. Third CO may be analyze level. Fourth CO may be evaluate level. Fifth CO may be understand level. Sixth CO may be analyze level, like that. You need not follow the Bloom's taxonomy, the hierarchy, when you write the cognitive levels. That is very, very clear. And as long as you have to follow, right now you have to follow the university 4 units, okay. You follow 4 units, but you need not have 4 course outcomes. You can have 5 course outcomes, even among the 4 units. Like that, you consider the entire syllabus as one and then draft the course outcomes in the order of learning. In the order of learning, that is important. Course outcomes should be drafted in the order of learning by the student. That is also very, very important. Okay. So did I answer your questions? Till you want to have any other question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got the clarity as you said, and I'm going to follow that.
Yes.
Because I was little confused here itself. That when we have redesigned, that's what we are in the process of. Redesign the COs. So CO1, CO2, CO3, CO4, CO5, as many COs we are going to design, should not necessarily follow the hierarchy of the Bloom's taxonomy level.
Exactly.
We can begin with CO1 for application or even create, because I am in management.
Yes.
So in first unit itself, we have topics on which we do case analysis.
Fine.
Now, case analysis is absolutely related to create, design, and etc.
Fine.
So we can begin with that also.
Yes.
But then while teaching, are we going to ensure that we pick up the topics first, which are at the understanding level?
No. While teaching, again, the order of learning.
Okay.
The syllabus is designed in the order of learning, sequentially. You see, every concept is built by a prerequisite knowledge.
Yeah.
So first you start with a particular concept. After the students learn that concept, you build a new concept on that. After they have learned, you build a new concept on that. There is a sequence of order of learning. You have to follow that order of learning only. When you write COs, when you write syllabus, follow the same order of learning. But there is no need to follow the hierarchy of Bloom's taxonomy as far as the course outcomes are concerned.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I have great appreciation to you.
Sir, if I may.
Yes, you
sir,
may ask me. You may ask me.
Yes. Sir, an extension to what Dr. Jha has recently talked about,
Yeah.
uh, we need to also give more weightage to the higher order learning levels.
Yes.
So whenever we are assessing the students, maybe if it is create, analyze, or apply, and maybe less weightage to understanding and
You are right. You are right.
remembering.
You are right.
So, but once again, the university has got equal weightage to all the four units.
Hmm.
So, in that case, what needs to be done? Because if there are COs we are having, of the higher levels,
Yeah.
and the question format is also for the MBA in such a case that there is
So you keep.
40% cases
Yeah.
wherein the students need to analyze, and
Yeah.
60% is the theory that they have to
Yeah.
write. And
Yeah.
theory writing is all about, maybe
Yeah.
understanding level or
Yeah.
like that.
Actually,
So,
your university is creating problem. My suggestion is you try to become autonomous college. That is the only solution. You
so what
equip
would be your
yourself.
suggestions to us in because right now we'll be also going for MBAs and accreditations and this.
Yeah.
So how should we defend and go ahead with these things?
Yeah. Right now, you have to follow some of the things as per the university. Right. So once the university says the guidelines have to be followed, all the four units have to be given equal weightage, then you may have to sacrifice this higher weightage for higher cognitive levels. One point I shall tell you, you can give, you need not follow some guideline is there. Up to 20% there can be deviation from what university says. Even UGC also says up to 20 to 30% the colleges may deviate from the UGC curriculum or UGC guidelines up to 20 to 30%. So there may be a clause in the university. You try to find out that clause, whether that 20% deviation can be allowed. In some of the universities, it is so for affiliated colleges. In such a case, you can use that class. Otherwise, till you get autonomy status, you simply follow the guidelines. You sacrifice this higher weightage for higher cognitive levels. In principle, there should be higher weightage for higher cognitive levels. But under the circumstances, if you have to follow, there is no other go, you follow till you get autonomous status.
Right, sir, because we are also the part of moderation committees, and when the question papers are set, so
Yes,
therein we have to follow the
yes, yes,
given
yes.
guidelines,
You
like
are
this
right.
many theory questions and like
You are right.
so.
You are right. You are right.
So there we cannot maybe deviate on,
Yeah.
like, this is how we have to do. And on the similar lines, the unit tests that we conduct for our students, or the
Yes.
assessments, internal assessments, there
Yes.
also we have to do the same thing.
Same
And
way.
that's why,
Same way. Same way. Same
so
way.
we cannot address the higher cognitive levels, or we cannot deviate from the
No.
prescribed format also for the
No.
internal test.
You
And this
cannot.
is where,
You cannot. That is the limitation. That is the disadvantage of being an affiliated college.
right, sir.
You are right.
So we can follow till we get into autonomy status, and like
Autonomous status.
we
Yeah.
can follow, and this could be
Yeah.
defended in front of the accreditation committees also, like
Yes.
this is
Yes.
what are the norms.
Yeah. You actually, faculty like you must be there in the accreditation internal committee. There should be an internal committee for writing the what is called self-assessment report, either SAR, what you call, right, self-assessment report. And to defend it, there should be an internal committee. You be the member of the internal committee, and like that, faculty who have total knowledge on this should be there in the internal committee. You can always defend. Once you have clarity, you can always defend.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Excuse me, sir. May I have
Yeah.
one question?
Yes.
Sir, as you told, 20 to 25% deviation will be allowed from the university curriculum.
Yeah.
So on that basis, the university has given some formulation of COs in particular subjects.
Yeah.
So can we modify that, because such COs given by universities are not proper or appropriate?
Not proper. Yes, you are right.
So can we modify that?
You can, you actually, you see, especially the problem, there are two cases. One is autonomous college, another is affiliated college. Autonomous colleges have a little more freedom than affiliated colleges.
Yes, sir.
So to my understanding, in some of many universities, affiliated colleges have to simply follow the curriculum along with COs, POs, matrix, everything, mapping, everything as per the university. The continuous assessment, comprehensive assessment, everything has to be followed as dictated by the university. That is the understanding in many universities in the country.
Okay. But we can modify, no?
No, you see the guideline of the university.
Actually, there I don't see in, any such statement ki you can deviate 20 to 25%.
But in
Or I am
UGC,
not aware about that actually.
in UGC it is there.
But in our university, I have to get aware about that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we have to follow the same
Pattern as given by the university.
Okay. My second question is that in our UG program, first to final year, so is there any thumb rule for say lower classes, the lower Bloom taxon weightage to the lower levels will be more and higher levels will be less?
No.
And for higher classes, higher levels weightage must be more and lower levels weightage must be less, like that?
There is nothing like that. It depends upon the course outcomes.
Okay. No,
It
weightage
depends,
to the
it depends on the course outcomes, exclusively on course outcomes.
Yeah, but sir, suppose there are four COs. Understanding, applying, analyzing. So in the UG programs, for first year and second year students, the understanding level and apply level questions weightage must be more, and you analyze and evaluate weightage must be less, like that. And for higher classes, means third year and final year.
No, not like that.
Not like
not
that.
like that. Not like that.
Means that depends on the depth of the CO.
That's all. Even in the first year, if you have analyze level, you should have more weightage for analyze level.
Okay. Means the weightage should not be according to the year.
According to the depth of the course outcomes.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, very, very interactive session. I'm extremely happy about it, right? So I'm so happy, right? So now let us proceed further. If you have any further questions, please note down in your notebook. So origin of outcome-based education in India. This is an accord initially signed among 6 countries, Australia, Canada, etc. So India signed this in 2014, June 13th, right? So graduate attributes formulated by NBA. Now please go through the revised graduate attributes formulated by NBA. Originally, they have formulated 12 program outcomes, but latest only 11 for UG programs and 10 for PG programs in the revised guidelines. When you say graduate attributes, they describe generic knowledge, skills, and attitudes. KSA, right? And the graduate attributes, based on the graduate attributes, you formulate the program outcomes, right? Then later, UGC has formulated the learning outcomes based curriculum framework in 2019. So for programs in science, arts, commerce, law, fine arts, journalism, mass communication, for all those courses, UGC guidelines has to be followed. For engineering, management, pharmacy, architecture, NBA framework has to be followed. Therefore, I am explaining both the frameworks. This PPT will be shared with you for details. I am explaining the key points. This is the framework of curriculum design framework of UGC. When we say vision and mission are related to the department. Suppose Department of Management is there. Vision and mission of Management Department. Department of Physics is there. Vision and mission of Physics Department. That has to be mentioned, which is offering the particular course. Right? So then, in UGC terminology, you call it qualification descriptors. And in NBA, this is NBA framework. NBA terminology, you call it program educational objectives. Both mean essentially the same. Conceptually, both mean essentially the same. Engineering, pharmacy, management, architecture use this terminology. Then art, science, commerce, social sciences, you use this terminology. It calls program learning outcomes. NBA terminology calls program outcomes. UGC calls course learning outcomes. NBA calls it course outcomes. In both the cases, graduate attributes, both are same. Now, when you talk about this program educational objectives, program outcomes, course outcomes, all these are related to a particular academic program. MBA is an academic program. MA Political Science is an academic program. BTech Computer Science is an academic program. For an academic program, these are applicable. Vision and mission are to be written to the department. So now how part? I have explained what part. How part? How to write vision and mission statements? Vision is a futuristic statement that the department would like to achieve over a long period of time. Mission statements of the department are the means to achieve vision. Mission statement 1 related to human resource development through teaching programs offered by the department. Mission statement 2 related to research. Affiliated colleges, if you are offering doctoral programs, you fill MS2. Otherwise, you need not fill MS2. MS3 related to extension programs, sponsored research projects, training programs as applicable. Mission statement 4, collaboration with other international and national organizations. This is the standard format, of course, designed by me, but accepted by many universities and colleges. This is how you write vision and mission statements. This is the guideline to write vision and mission statements. I am giving an example for this of Central University of Karnataka, which they have developed this under my guidance. Vision statement: to be one of the well-recognized departments of chemistry for higher learning in India and the world in terms of producing skilled and employment chemists, teachers, and entrepreneurs who are go-getters in meeting the challenges of industry and society. That is the vision statement. Then mission statement 1, to impart quality education at postgraduate and doctoral levels. Mission statement 2, to provide the state-of-art research facilities. Mission statement 3, to become a hub for human resource development and sponsored research projects. Mission statement 4, to associate with the national and international reputed institutions towards excellence and collaborative research. This is the model, right? So you can have your own unique vision and mission statements according to your vision and mission. Then program educational objectives, NBA terminology, qualification descriptors, UGC, LOCF terminology. The qualification descriptors are program educational objectives, describe academic standard for a specific qualification, right? in terms of the levels of disciplinary knowledge, the levels of skills, the levels of competencies, attitudes and values, employable opportunities. In terms of these, you have to write 5 to 6 program educational objectives or qualification descriptors, right? So this PPT will be shared with you by the organizers. I have already shared with them. Otherwise, I will share again in the evening once again. So the details, I am skipping the details, only concepts I am giving. Then what you do is, QD means qualification descriptors. For management studies, engineering, you call it PEO, program educational object. There must be mapping between PEO or QD here and then mission statements. These 3 in the box related to high mapping, 2 medium mapping, 1 low-level mapping. When there is no mapping at all, put a dash in the box for no mapping. Then program learning outcomes, you write based on the graduate attributes. Suppose if there are 11 graduate attributes according to NBA, write 11 program outcomes. UGC, you must write minimum 12 program outcomes, right? The program learning outcomes would also focus on knowledge, skills, and competencies. They also focus on knowledge to prepare the students for further study, employment, and citizenship. There must be comparability of program learning outcomes across the country, right? That is important. PLOs may be drafted in accordance with the graduate attributes. PLOs must be in agreement with program educational objectives, NBA terminology, qualification descriptors, UGC terminology, right? Then you also have program-specific outcomes. If a curriculum of an academic program has a few specialized courses, then it may include 2 to 3 program-specific outcomes related to the subject content. Program outcomes consist of general skills also, communication skills, research-related skills, self-learning and lifelong learning, community engagement, multicultural competence, like that, critical thinking and problem solving, but program-specific outcomes related to the subject content only. Then this is again an example. I am skipping the example. There should be a mapping again between program learning outcomes, and here QD means qualification descriptors, UG terminology. For engineering, MBA, pharmacy, you mention PEO here, program educational objectives. There must be mapping between program learning outcomes and program educational objectives or QDs. Again, 3 for high mapping, 2 for medium mapping, 1 for low mapping, and dash for no mapping at all. Then you have course learning outcomes. I have already discussed at length course learning outcomes, right? So design of each course, this is important, which we call course design. A good course design consists of the following components: prerequisite knowledge for that particular course. For UG courses, +2 course knowledge is the prerequisite knowledge. Then you have course learning outcomes. You must write course learning outcomes 5 to 6 for a 3 to 4 credit course, 3 to 4 for a 2 credit course. Mapping of CLOs with 1 or more PLOs in the form of a table, that is called course articulation matrix. Then detailed syllabus including references. Then teaching learning strategies in brief. You must mention the active learning strategies in brief, only the names of strategies, like group discussion method, problem solving method, project-based learning method, inductive method, deductive, like that. You have to mention the names of the methods, experiential learning method, right? Like that, you can mention the names of the methods, that's all. Then assessment methods and weightages in brief. You can have a variety of assessment methods. In fact, flexibility must be there in the form of assignments, in the form of term paper, in the form of quizzes, in the form of minor tests in the form of midterm examinations. So that is called continuous assessment. Every week there must be assignments, right? So, but overall assignment marks may not have more than 10% of the total, right? But there must be flexibility. So some courses may have mini projects. IIT Hyderabad has mini projects for many courses with a weightage of 20% marks. So continuous assessment should always have higher weightage. In my opinion, continuous assessment should have 60% and end semester examination 40%. Second model is continuous assessment 50% and end semester examination is 50%. But still, most of the universities do not have faith on the affiliated colleges and autonomous colleges. Therefore, they say only 40% continuous assessment. Earlier, only 30%. Now they have increased it to 40%. To my knowledge, some of the universities, and end semester 60%, which is not what NEP 2020 mentioned. Then this is the template I am giving you. Within this template, you can give the curriculum design completely for any program, BTech, MTech, BPharm, MPharm, MBA, BBA, BSc, MSc, BA, MA, anything. Vision statement, mission statements, name of the academic program, qualification descriptors or program educational objectives, mapping of program educational objectives with mission statements, then program learning outcomes or program outcomes, 12 numbers, 11 numbers for NBA, UG program. So program specific outcomes, 2 to 3. Then mapping between program learning outcomes and program specific outcomes here, and PUOs or qualification descriptors here. 3 for high mapping, 2 for medium mapping, 1 for low mapping, and dash for no mapping. Please don't forget to put dash. This is the course design, course code, title of the course, LTP, L lecture hours, T tutorial hours, P practical hours or field work or community engagement credits. Then prerequisite course or knowledge, course learning outcomes 5 to 6. Then CLO, PLO mapping, PLO and PSO mapping, detailed syllabus, teaching learning strategies in brief, assessment methods in brief. Drafting the syllabus, salient points, it must be student-centered syllabus of great relevance to the needs of the students. The current and future trends in the discipline must be taken into consideration. The syllabus must not be heavy in outcome-based education, as active learning strategies have to be implemented. You cannot implement only lecture method, right? So problem-solving method, group discussion method, project-based learning, right? All these methods have to be implemented in outcome-based education. Only then the students will achieve the learning outcomes. For every course, the course design has to be prepared by the concerned teacher. For the purpose of calculation of credits, 1 lecture hour per week is 1 credit per week. 1 tutorial hour per week, 1 credit. 2 hours of lab work or field work or workshop practice or community engagement, 1 credit. Conclusion, because I have to provide some time for question answer session. If a teacher designs a standard outcome-based curriculum and implements the same by using appropriate pedagogy and assessment strategies, the teacher mentors generations of students to become innovators, entrepreneurs, experts in one's own profession, and above all, great teachers. Such teachers will be remembered by their students forever throughout their lives. Such teachers will attain meaning and fulfillment of their lives. I pay rich tributes to such great teachers. I wish that all of you become such great teachers. And recommended videos, channel name, Professor space BV space Appa space Rao. That is hidden here. Professor space BV space Appa space Rao. Okay, Appa has its own meaning in Tamil. right? So all these learning outcomes based curriculum framework, curriculum design in higher education, parts 1, 2, 3, how to formulate course learning outcomes guidelines, learning outcomes based active learning strategies, part 1 and part 2. Learning through experience, John Dewey method, Socratic method of teaching and learning, constructivist approach, rubrics as an assessment tool for lab reports and project work, teacher-student relationship, how to set good multiple choice questions is followed in many universities based on these guidelines. I have given the guidelines. Is there really any role of reward and punishment in learning? Guidance, counseling, and mentoring of students. Motivation and learning, part 1 and part 2. Bloom's taxonomy of learning levels, part 1, part 2, part 3. Holistic education and secular spirituality. Holistic education, integration of human values, games, sports, and community service. Multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and transdisciplinary education. Academic audit and quality assurance in higher education. Very important for accreditation purposes. Open educational resources and Creative Commons licenses, part 1, part 2. Open educational resources in India. Mapping of course outcomes with program outcomes. Calculation of attainment of course outcomes and program outcomes. Intuitive learning. Then question paper setting and grading. These are the latest. Within the past 2 months, I have made this, published them. Question paper setting and grading in outcome-based education. How to deal with diverse learners. The 3 domains of learning, experiential learning, critical pedagogy, reflective learning. The latest one is artificial intelligence in education, right? So you go through the channel, there is a web series. In that web series, 37 videos are there in that web series, and all those videos will clarify all your doubts. Based on your doubts only, I have conducted so many workshops, trained more than 10,000 teachers. Based on the questions, based on the doubts, in order to clarify, I have shared my experience and expertise in the form of these videos. So whenever you have doubts, you can refer to the videos. They will be of great benefit to you. So with this, we conclude my lecture. Now, questions and answer session. Any questions you can ask?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such a wonderful and insightful, thought-provoking session. Friends, the forum is open for discussion. If you have any queries or the question with regards to this session or some kind of observation, you can note down here. Please, Eric.
Sir, I have three questions in my mind.
Yeah, sir. Please, please process.
Yeah. First, you made it clear during your deliberation itself, but since you use this terminology, therefore I put it up in front of you once again for further clarity. COs and CLOs are the same. Am I right?
Pardon?
Course outcomes and course learning outcomes.
Both are same.
Yeah.
COs is NBA terminology. CLOs is the UGC terminology.
Okay. And likewise, program outcomes and program learning outcomes. POs and PLOs are also the same.
Same.
Okay, sir. That was point number 1.
Qualification descriptors and program educational objectives are also same.
Yeah, you have mentioned that. You mentioned that. POs and QDs are exactly one and the same. Yeah. The second point that I have to make is that you said you have to design POs in the light of program attributes.
Graduate attributes.
Graduate attributes. Yes, correct. Graduate attributes.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned that NBA has now issued 10 graduate attributes for PG program.
PG program, yes.
And when you say PG program, it includes both engineering and management.
Yes.
So 10 graduate attributes.
Yes.
And therefore, as you suggested, for each graduate attribute, there should be one program
outcome. Yes.
The NBA itself has given for the management program 5 POs. 5 POs are already there, which we are following.
5 POs?
Yeah, 5 program outcomes.
POs or PEOs?
No, POs, program outcomes, I am telling. We have not designed program outcomes. We have copied it from the NBA manual. 5 program outcomes have been given by the National Board of Accreditation for management programs.
Okay.
So do we now need to revise it, as you said, according to 10 graduate attributes and make it 10?
Actually, please, once again, please go to the manual, because this question was there for management earlier also. Earlier, for management, they have not given separately. Earlier, I am referring to 3 years ago.
Yeah.
When I was discussing with Central University of Karnataka.
Yeah.
So based on the graduate attributes, they have suitably, because program outcomes were given for engineering, program outcomes were not given for management at that time. At that time, right? Therefore, based on the graduate attributes, they have designed their own way program outcomes with under my guidance. But this is really a news to me, that they have given only 6 program outcomes. Did they mention any program specific outcomes?
Yeah, that was my third question and last question.
There must be program specific outcomes.
No. They have not indicated program specific outcomes for management program. And particularly, since we are running only one program, MBA, which is a general MBA, it is not that we have MBA in retail marketing and MBA in supply chain management and MBA in HR management. Like that, we are not, or MBA in business analytics. We do not have these programs. We have only one program, MBA, which is a general MBA.
Yeah, if suppose in general MBA, do you have advanced courses as electives?
Yeah, courses, specializations are there. 5, 6 specializations are there. Electives are there.
Electives are there. Suppose in those electives, suppose you have advanced courses.
No, they have only introduced since last year one advanced course as a specialization, which is business analytics.
Yeah.
But other than this, there has been the general specialization courses also, like human resource management and marketing management and production management and finance management and operations management, like that.
Yeah.
Only last year they have introduced business analytics, last year.
Yeah, then for related to business analytics, you can write one program specific outcome.
Yeah, only for this particular batch specialization.
Yes.
Okay. Fine. So that we will do program specific outcomes for business analytics. Then what about that graduate attributes and program outcomes, which you said if there are 10 graduate attributes, you have to have 10 program outcomes. We are following only program outcomes as prescribed by NBA.
6, yeah.
Only so 5, not NBA, 6, not even 6, 5.
Yeah, 5 this is completely, totally a news to me. I shall once again go through specifically for management program within a day or two, right? So, So it is a news to me, but with 5 program outcomes, how will they be able to achieve 10 graduate attributes?
This is there.
Yeah. So then whatever NBA says, you simply follow it.
Sir, okay. If you want, I can read them out. I have in front of me program outcomes. 5. Apply knowledge of management theories and practices to solve business problem is first.
Yeah.
Second is foster analytical and critical thinking abilities for database decision making.
Yeah.
Third is ability to develop value-based leadership quality.
Yeah.
Fourth is ability to understand, analyze, and communicate global economic, legal, and ethical aspects of business. Yeah. And fifth is ability to lead themselves and others in the achievement of organizational goals, contributing effectively to a team environment. These are the 5 program outcomes given by NBA.
Yeah. So you see, you follow NBA 5 program outcomes. There is no doubt about it.
Okay.
But when you organize learning experiences, you consider the graduate attributes also.
Okay.
When you organize your teaching learning strategies and overall learning experiences in the institute, you please consider the graduate attributes also.
Right, sir. Right.
That's all. That is the via media solution.
Yeah. Right. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, anyone else?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I have one.
Dr. Umale sir, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, in CO-PO matrix, if any particular CO is not mapped with POs, so it is necessary to put the dash there or keep the blank.
The first point is you must keep dash.
Okay.
You should not keep it blank. If you keep it blank, there will be a query from NAC or NBA. So you should put only dash there. That is the first point.
Okay.
Second point is when you do COPO mapping, you have to take into consideration the course outcomes and also teaching learning strategies, active learning strategies which you use to achieve the course outcomes. You must also consider the assessment strategies to achieve course outcomes.
Yes, sir.
So all these three you have to take into consideration in mapping CO and versus PO.
Okay.
For example, critical thinking and problem solving, it will not be there in your course outcome.
Yes, sir.
But in POs it is there.
Yes.
Critical thinking and problem solving.
Yes, PO4.
Yeah. How do they achieve critical thinking and problem solving? By using active learning strategies? By using assessment strategies, they achieve critical thinking and problem solving skills by analyzing case studies, all that.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, for critical thinking and problem solving also, you put 3 in the box.
Yes, yes.
For communication skills also, you put 3 in the box. If at all communication skills is there in the program outcomes.
Okay.
So actually for engineering, there are BTech for 11 program outcomes given by NBA and for PG 10 program outcomes given by NBA. Right? So you have to take into consideration course outcomes, teaching learning strategies, and also assessment strategies in completing that course articulation matrix.
Yes, sir.
Please note this point. This is the most important point. So many faculty are filling only 6 or 7 boxes and keeping the other boxes empty. I have observed that. So you can keep many boxes filled and keep only 6 or 7 boxes empty, right?
Oh, sir.
Not empty with the dash, with the dash.
With dash.
Dash, right?
Another question is that we are mapping that POCO by using the performance indicator given by NBA in AICT curriculum manual.
Yeah.
So is it okay?
Yeah, performance indicators is one way of mapping. You use performance indicators and also this teaching learning strategies and assessment strategies, both.
Okay.
Both.
This PIs plus these 3 things.
Yeah, both.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, anyone else?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please, Dr. Sulia, sir.
Sir, this is Dr. Bilal Hussain. I am speaking from Dr. Sulia sir's phone. Sir, my query is related with the same as the Jha sir's question related to that only. So, like we are having a generalized MBA.
Yeah.
So, general MBA. But what university has done to overcome that limitation, university has introduced MOOCs courses. So, from last 2 years, like students can opt any course of their choice. Like if let's say data analytics is not covered in the MBA syllabus, so they can opt it from their own and they can pursue that course and it is having credit. So it is a compulsory course of 4 credits in the 4th semester.
Yeah.
So my question is that if we want to calculate attainment for that course, not because we don't have any information of what students will seek, and if we force them to choose some particular course, then it will not be serving the purpose of that objective.
Yeah.
So how to design the course outcome for such courses, like where there is no surety which courses will be getting launched?
Yeah, it's an excellent question.
Yes, sir.
Actually, for such courses which you have the curriculum design based on, you see, the students will be opting to register for MOOCs courses offered by different universities. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Therefore, different universities will have different curricula.
Definitely, sir.
So it is very difficult to calculate attainment of course outcomes for such courses.
Yes, sir.
It is impossible because you don't have common course outcomes.
Right, sir.
So only when the students register only for a particular course, all the students offered by a particular university, particular teacher, then that course will have course outcomes. Then based on, even then it is very difficult whether the teacher has followed the question paper based on the course outcomes. Question paper format should be based on course outcomes. Only then you can calculate attainment of course outcomes.
Right, sir.
So therefore, it is not possible.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
But you can note down in your records all these
Right.
points.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
When the accreditation committee comes, immediately you can show the record.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, thank you, sir. If you could permit, sir, shall we conclude because we
We will conclude because
the
next next session has
yes, Dr. Rizwan sir has joined with us.
Right.
So
Thank you. It is a highly interactive session. I really enjoyed the session. It was a great learning experience to me. Thank you all the questioners.
Getting enlightened from such such experienced speaker. It is also we are luckily fortunate to get hear you today in such a great manner, sir. We are really thankful to you because we know that, sir, you are so much busy in your pre-scheduled work. But in spite of your busy schedule, you have provided your precious time here in thought-provoking session. We are really thankful to you, sir, on behalf of organizing committee and both of institution. I am very much thankful to you, sir.
Thank you.
And with the kind consent of you, I would like to declare that this session will be over here. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Fine.
Hello, Dr. Rizwan, sir.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I hope.
Sir, good morning. You are very much audible, sir. But only one thing is that if you could permit, sir, can we take the break of 5 minutes? Sharp at 10:45, we will, sir, start the session.
Sure, no problem. I'm here.
Sir. Thank you so much, sir. So participants, we will sharp 10:45. We will resume with the session. Please stay connected. Hello, Dr. Rizwan sir. Sir, if you could permit, shall we start, sir?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah. So, good morning, one and all. Once again, first and foremost, we have conducted a first session, that is outcome-based education curriculum designing, with the help of Professor Apparao sir. And now we are going to discuss one of another crucial aspects of this national education policy, that is the information and communication technology, integration of this technology in our education. Friends, you know that national education policy has placed more emphasis on the integration of this technological tools and the technology in our education system, and government has taken various initiatives with regards to implement this strategy, that is particularly national information and communication technology, and take launches various platforms such like as Disha, Swayam, and a number of platforms are there, and you know that very well, NPTEL like also, to integrate this technology in our education system. So this technology has played a very crucial role while we are conducting research, teaching, learning, as well as our managing our institutional record also. So today we are going to discuss this important concept with the help of one of the renowned industry expert, Dr. Rizwan sir. Sir, I extend my warm welcome to you to this flagship session. I think Rizwan sir is disconnected. We will wait for 1 minute. Today we are going to discuss this one of the important concept with the help of one renowned industry expert, Dr. Rizwan Ahmad sir. Sir, I extend my warm welcome to you to this flagship program. Friends, Professor Dr. Rizwan sir is at present serving as the Chief Technology Officer at Delaplex, which is situated in the Nagpur. He is a technological leader, entrepreneur, keynote speaker, startup advisor, and the angel investor. He was also author. Dr. Rizwan sir is known as a passionate, solution-focused professional with the comprehensive global background within the information technology, information security, and specifically the cyber security field. Now he is serving as a Chief Technology Officer at Delaplex, situated in the Nagpur. Is a global software development and the business solution provider. Dr. Rizwan brings over 22 years of professional experience as a dynamic technology executive, known for his innovation and the hands-on leadership. Dr. Rizwan also works as an independent consultant for the cyber security, the digital, and the mobile forensic investigator for various private, government, and the law enforcement agency in the India. So friends, he is also the recipient of the 25 Global Technology Awards, highlighted his significant impact in this field. So this is the brief introduction with regards to Dr. Rizwan sir. Sir, I again extend my warm welcome to you to this session, and now may I request you to start with your session. Sir, please.
Thank you so much for that humble introduction. At the outset, I would like to express my sincere gratitude for inviting me for this session. I feel truly humbled and honored because some of the people who are attending these sessions, right, especially Dr. Sunil Somani sir, Jha sir, Kandoi sir, Mankar sir, right? I have been their student when I was at SSGMC, right? So this is an absolute honor for me to be here and maybe exchanging ideas and discussing some of the things which are related to especially use of ICT and education. So my journey as a technologist, when I've been working with many companies, involved a lot of overlap with EdTech particularly, and more importantly, almost 15 years back, we started working for one of the top 10 EdTech companies in US. And their model was they used to target especially people who can't go for conventional university courses, especially people who are working in different industries. Like I can go on companies like Walmart and others, right, who might be having thousands of employees working for them. And what we did with them is we built a complete online platform wherein they can take university degree credits, but the courses were conducted online with proctored examinations and things like that. And more importantly, after they're acquiring certain credits, they can also go to a traditional university, and there were about 600 universities in US which were participating in this program, wherein after finishing some credits online at a fraction of cost, I can get a real degree from a university. Similarly, we worked with many different industries. One particular industry wherein we have a lot of compliance requirements in US is you need to go through like a lot of compliance training, especially in construction industry. For them also, we have built an edtech platform wherein people can take continuous learning assessments which are happening online, right? And more importantly, they need to pass that certification so that they can continue to work in the construction industry. So a lot of unique use cases. In fact, even today, we are working on a solution called as Captize. And since it is an independent platform, right, I'll not talk more about this product, but this product uses generative AI, and we are solving basically a lot of problems which industries face, including people on this who are part of this session, right, educators, in terms of using right technology to make the interaction with your learners more better, and maybe more importantly, which is outcome focused. That is what the industry demand is. So a lot of unique use cases, and I'm going to be sharing some of those experiences as I go forward. So
just an interruption, Dr. Rizwan.
Yes, sir.
I thought I'll greet you with this welcome note, but Dr. Atik did not give me some time in the beginning. So I really extend a very warm welcome to you on my personal behalf and on behalf of Sri Sant Gajanan Maharaj College of Engineering, because you have been part of our ecosystem. And it's very, very nice to see you on this platform after a long, long time. So welcome. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jasar. This means a lot, and thanks for having me here. So continuing on what I've said so far, right? Some of us know that we are going through fourth industrial revolution, and some of us, we know in first industrial revolution, we got rid of animal power and we could go from one place to other place using locomotive engines and things like that. Second industrial revolution was more towards mass production. And third industrial revolution, which basically helped India, especially someone like me who is in this industry now, utilizing ICT technologies to solve many problems in the world, right? Wherein we got access to digital technologies like computers, internet, right? And all the new modern things what we see. But this fourth industrial revolution is completely unique. We all are seeing that. If you must have heard about it, but if you haven't, I would highly recommend reading this book from Professor Klaus Schwab. He's from World Economic Forum, and he has completely described this phenomena, right, in a very good way. And there are two things which we are seeing, right, in this fourth industrial revolution, which is extreme automation and connectivity. Everything around us, right, is being transformed in good way, right, by utilizing artificial intelligence, deep learning, generative AI, right, and bringing in a lot of positive changes. In a way, anything which is repetitive, right, is getting automated now. And there is more like assisted intelligence available to us, minimizing as human involvement as possible. And on the second side, right, we are seeing huge change wherein we are building many cyber physical systems, which is using combination of AI and robots. So all of us know a phenomenon of metaverse. So that is still under development, but I'm coming from an industry wherein I'm seeing this in use, especially in the area called as digital twins. So we use this very heavily in manufacturing, warehousing, and other areas, right? And why I'm talking about this fourth industrial revolution in ICT and education session is we are also seeing impact of some of these technologies in education sector also. And I'm going to be sharing some examples as we go forward. But all in all, right, we are also seeing a big revolution happening in the education field also, considering all these emerging technologies coming into play. Again, all of us know, and I'm quoting George Way here, he said, education is a continual process and it's like a bicycle. If you don't pedal, you don't go forward. We can't be at a standstill. And we always preach in industry that we need to create lifelong learners. And I feel people who are attending these sessions, they are the true mentors and torch bearers who need to inculcate such habits in the next generation of students who are coming out, right, and going to be part of the industry. And that's where our role is very, very critical, right, in a way, how we make sure, right, we help these students understand the cycle of learning, more importantly, unlearning and relearning, because technology is changing so fast. Every 1 or 2 years, you are required to learn something new, and more importantly, unlearn what you were doing earlier. And that's where I feel use of ICT and technology is going to be very critical for especially teachers and mentors, right, who are involved in this process. Again, some people think, right, and that's why I'm showing this quote here, because of technology, there is not going to be any need of teachers. I highly disagree that, because we are seeing a new generation of students coming in. They feel all the information is available on palm of their hand, right? Kar lo duniya muthi mein is the slogan what we hear, right? So we have all the things available on this mobile, right? But I feel we as educators, teachers, mentors, right, have a more important role to play. So that's what George Couros has said. Technology will not replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational. And that is what the mantra we all need to remember, right, when we are trying to make use of technology to enable our students to become lifelong learners, problem solvers, right? And use of technology is going to provide us the real need of industry, right, wherein we are providing more experiential learning to our students. That is what our focus should be when we are trying to make use of ICT in our day-to-day teaching learning process. Again, I have seen this personally in my life. So earlier when we used to be a student, right, most of my teachers, some of them are here, right, we used to use combination of all these techniques, and we have seen an evolution happening in last 20, 30, 40 years, right? So we used to have blackboards. It used to be very difficult, right? With chalk, you need to explain certain things. Slowly, we started making use of OHP sheets, right? So that we could show some diagrams, do it more quicker. Then we saw an era wherein we could use television, VHS systems, right? And maybe you play some recorded content which was already there. But slow transformation which has happened in like maybe last 20, 30 years is wherein we have seen more interactive way, wherein you can have a smart television, an LCD, PC, whiteboard, smart board, right? Coming into our ICT learning approach, right? Wherein I can basically show a lot of things, right, in a different way, and making the teaching learning process more interactive and basically better for my students. And that is what the transformation what we are seeing when we are moving towards ICT learning approach. This slide basically tells us, right, in a way, what's the difference between traditional classroom and ICT learning classroom. So in our traditional classrooms, we used to have like limited size of the classroom. It needs to be physical in nature. We can't have more than, say, suppose 60 to 100 people. If it is more than that, you won't have proper synchronization in terms of people who are attending and someone who is delivering the session, just to know what the audience engagement is. And this needs to be completely synchronous. But if we talk about ICT learning, I mean, this gives us opportunity wherein we can make the complete learning process, wherein we can have unlimited number of people joining from any time and anywhere in the world. And that's what the big transformation is. And that's where, as teachers, I mean, you can reach out to remotest part of the world, right, in terms of sharing your content, sharing your knowledge, right? And that is where we need to make sure, right, when we are creating this ICT learning experience, it needs to be as immersive as what we are able to give in a physical classroom of limited size students. Again, in terms of traditional classrooms, we used to have maybe OHP sheets, PowerPoint. At times we give video lectures, collaboration is there. We give textbooks, have people visit library, read more and things like that. But the personalization in the traditional learning is generally you only have 1 or 2 learning paths, right? And that makes it very difficult. But on the ICT learning side, right, we try to make use of multimedia, especially modern technologies like AR, VR, XR, wherein I'm able to like have more immersive experience. And I can basically experience as if I'm doing something, right? When I'm trying to learn some of those concepts. And that extension of that is again simulation. And this is something which we do in our industry a lot, wherein before we go and develop something or deploy something in real world, we do a lot of simulations just to test how it is going to work out in the real world scenario. As an example, there is a large warehouse of, say, suppose 100 acres, and it's supposed to house thousands of robots. So how these robots, conveyor belts, AGVs, AMRs are going to be coordinating together, right? That is something we simulate. And that is what the job of, again, teachers and maybe educators who are on this call, right? They should be able to do, right? In terms of providing simulation-based learning so that people would actually able to solve problems, right? As they happen outside in the real world. Give them the practical angle which is there. More importantly, we have digital library. Some of these contents could be on demand. So it gives us the flexibility in terms of how I want to pace the learning. Because if I'm delivering the session, if there are 100 students, not everyone is at the same level. Maybe some people are fast, some people are slow, some people are average, right? So I need to adjust my tempo of teaching according to that. But in case of ICT learning, people can change the pace, maybe keep the learning, right, in a customized way. And here you have combination of synchronous and asynchronous communication happening between the people who are delivering these sessions and, more importantly, who are attending these sessions. And I'm going to be sharing some of the examples as I go forward. And here in the ICT learning, one of the advantages, you try to create a learning path. And again, the pace is determined by the learner, right? How I want to make use of this learning, right? For my own benefit, right? What outcomes I'm trying to go for. So all in all, right? We are seeing a huge shift, right? In this digital age, wherein someone as an anonymous has said, right? We are using digital technology to reshape education, wherein we are trying to make learning accessible, interactive, and lifelong. I know many startup founders whom I'm advising, right? They have created some of the courses, and some of you might not believe this, on WhatsApp, wherein they have created a WhatsApp bot. And on that bot, I can customize my learning, get my sessions delivered on WhatsApp and things like that. So people are trying to make use of all the available technologies which are out there and trying to reach out to people, right, who might be underprivileged, not having access to maybe traditional learning models which are out there, and maybe trying to make it more accessible to everyone. So I'm going to be talking about one particular model. I'm hoping some of you must have heard about this, but if not, this is a very famous model which is developed by Dr. Rubin, and he calls this model as SAMR model. And SAMR stands for S is substitution, A is augmentation, M is modification, and R is redefinition. And again, this is, you can see, a more like a pyramid structure, right? So if you see what happens in substitution is, we try to make use of ICT technology as a direct substitute of what we are doing currently. As an example, I'm delivering this session now, right? Some of you are attending this session online, and we are recording this session. So anyone who is not able to make it to attend this session live, the recording could be given to that person as a substitution. That's the first way wherein we follow. You have an existing way, you're delivering a session in live classroom or maybe session online as a webinar, you record it, and the recorded session could be given as a substitution to anyone who wants to attend it. Second is augmentation, wherein we try to make use of technology as a direct substitute with no functional improvement, right? Again, we are not trying to change anything, right? It's a as-is replacement of what we are doing currently, right? In a better way. But the third level, which is modification, wherein we are trying to redesign how we try to basically make use of technology. And I'm going to be showing you some example how we can use modification technique using ICT, right, in our education, day-to-day education, right? And it is going to completely transform how we do certain things. And the last is redefinition, wherein you create new tasks, more simulation, more interaction, right? So that it gives you more experiential learning. So modification and redefinition is more around transformation. That is something wherein we all need to focus when we are going for ICT in education. So I'm going to be showcasing a video of a person who created this model. His name is Dr. Rubin, and he created this model, right, with research of almost 30 plus years, wherein he is talking about like how this is going to be useful, right, when we are trying to change our teaching learning process.
How can I do this? What led me to develop the SAMR model was some work I did back in the mid-80s. I was a graduate student at Harvard at that point, and working on rethinking aspects of the undergraduate introductory science curriculum. And at that point, I could see that some of the tools we have for digital storytelling and so on could really make a change. But it wasn't clear that this was anything intrinsic to a given tool, and rather a question of different types of practice associated with this. So that's what triggered the desire to research the topic and eventually led to the SAMR.
You can see here, right, his focus was more around redefinition and modification, the transformation aspect as I was talking. So in interest of time, I'm just skipping the whole video. It's about 7 minutes of this video. I highly recommend you to watch this video, and there are more videos of him available online. And he has showcased very good use cases of how ICT is being used, right? Using the SAMR model, right, to change some of the things. But in interest of time, maybe I'm just showcasing you another small video, right, which is a good summary, right, of what we do in SAMR model, about 3-4 minutes.
Every day, teachers are designing activities to target higher order thinking skills in order to engage students in rich learning experiences. But integrating technology adds a whole new layer to teaching and learning. How can technology transform your learning design? Dr. Ruben Puentedura developed the SAMR model as a way for teachers to evaluate how they are incorporating technology into their instructional practice. You can use SAMR to reflect upon how you are integrating technology into your classroom. Is it an act of substitution, augmentation, modification, or redefinition? Dr. Puentedura likens his model to moving up a ladder. The model includes a dotted line that represents the threshold where you shift from using technology to enhance learning to using it to transform learning. Transforming learning promotes higher order thinking skills, such as analyzing, evaluating, and creating, which are essential to Common Core state standards and 21st century learning. So, how can you teach above the line? Let's take a look at an example of a classroom task and how it evolves through the lens of SAMR. In substitution, technology acts as a direct tool substitute with no real functional change to the task. For example, take creative writing. What if you had students write a story using a word processing program? In this case, students are substituting a handwritten story for a typed story. The task is the same with no real change in student engagement. In augmentation, technology still substitutes, but with some functional improvement. What if you took the same creative writing assignment and had students use a word processing program? They could use features such as spell check and tools for formatting. Again, the story writing task is the same, but the technology augments it with enhanced productivity. In modification, technology should allow for significant task redesign. Take the same creative writing assignment and have students use Google Docs to write their stories. Students can then share these stories with peers and provide real-time feedback. Here, technology has significantly modified the original task.
So here in modification, we are making use of Google Docs or maybe Office 365, right? Which is going to help us do a lot of things significantly differently. And that's what helps students, right, to maybe make the same task of writing a creative story more easily, do collaborative sharing and things like that.
Introducing the benefits of student collaboration. At the top stage, redefinition, technology allows for the creation of entirely new tasks that were previously inconceivable. What if students transform their written stories into multimedia productions? After creating storyboards, students film scenes, edit clips, and add music. They can publish the videos and receive feedback from voices across the globe. In this case, technology redefines the story writing task to include media creation, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication.
So it's more like a flipped learning. That is what we need, right? When you want these students to practically do things, right? How industry expects them to do, right? because in redefinition, you are teaching them creation, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, teamwork, right? That is what is needed in industry as well. And that is where I feel, right, when we are making use of ICT tools, we need to always look at how we can use redefinition and maybe flip something, right, in a way that, okay, you are having them do certain things what they have learned so far in the previous steps.
So, how can you use SAMR to reflect upon transforming your learning design? Quintadora offers reflection questions to.
So again, there are a few more things in this video. So I've shared a link, you can go through this. But all in all, right, this is a very good model, right, in terms of using basically starting from substitution, augmentation, modification to redefinition. Idea is right, going from enhancement to transformation. And that is where technology can play a huge role, right, in terms of how we are doing some of these things. So again, we saw some of the examples in the video. I'm sharing some more examples, right, of substitution, right? So as I was telling earlier, right, example of substitution could be using a video recording of doing a classroom lecture. So this is going to be something wherein students can just look at the video lecture, learn the same thing which was delivered earlier. And based on that, right, they can go for an assessment as we do in our written exams, right, in most traditional ways of end of course learners. In augmentation, we have more like we try to do some kind of substitution. That's where it becomes very, very important, right? Wherein this video now becomes part of an LMS system, which is a learning management system. And again, the same video which we created earlier could be divided into multiple sections. And idea here is we try to capture certain important topics in those 4 sections. And at the end of every section, you could have some kind of a quiz or multiple choice questions coming in. So that when I'm learning that section in that particular video, after that section is over, you ask quiz to the students. You exactly know whether they are able to learn the concept which has been taught in the video or not. And if they are not able to learn it, maybe you can modify their learning journey, right, through LMS. Excuse me, to the organizers, right, I'll ask someone to mute who is speaking. Is anyone from the organizing team able to mute the unmuted participant?
Yes.
Let me try that on my side. Okay, sorry about that. So I've muted the unmuted participant. So I'll request everyone to be on mute, right, while they're attending this session. If you have a question, maybe towards the end, right, we can take some of these questions. So again, in augmentation, focus is more around whether the person is able to learn those things by having right quizzes at the right sections what we have. And we must have generally seen this, right, in most of the ICT-based online LMS platform. This is something what we have to see. Third, which is more of a transformation thing, is when we try to use modification. And again, what we do is as an instructor, right, or a teacher, we'll have the video recording. But from that video recording, right, we ask students, right, to create more like maybe some kind of assignment. So as an example, they might be asked to write essay type question, wherein we are able to understand, right, what they are able to comprehend on their own. And that is where we are able to judge, right, in a way, whether the concept, what they're supposed to learn from that video recording, whether they're able to capture that or not, and what's their understanding of that concept or not. So in a way, we have the same content, but we are trying to flip it and involve students in attempting their understanding and sharing that assessment with you, right? So that you can gauge, right, who is able to understand it better and maybe use that in your sessions, right, to maybe interact in a better way with most of your class. And the last one is redefinition. And this is something which is very critical way of doing complete transformation, wherein you'll have the instructor providing all the reading references, online guidance, right, through LMS. And LMS is the key central place, right, wherein students would come, basically see these recordings, right, and using all the tools like laptops, phones, what they may have, right, using that, they're able to submit some kind of analysis, findings, or maybe create a small project or a portfolio work, right, which is even able to do better evaluation as an instructor, whether they are able to learn the concept, what I want them to learn. So all in all, right, this model of XAMR, substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition is something which basically helps us make use of ICT in the right way. And it gives you a lot of advantages. Some of the strengths is it promotes digital literacy so that we can have all the 4 levels of models being employed in different ways so that we can see the effectiveness of our teaching learning process. Second is it provides the instructor the opportunity basically to learn and experiment with new technologies. And the goal is how we can basically enhance our teaching learning process, make it easier for the students, right, to make use of the SAMR steps to make it more from enhancement to transformative learning. Again, the instructor basically gets flexibility of doing scaffolding of the assignments, right? From maybe slowly removing some kind of support as we go forward, right? So when you start early, right, when you're doing the first step, when you're going to the last step, you are trying to basically make students learn things, do assignments and things on their own. So as you can see in the first step, we are giving them the course material, but at the same time, they are required to attempt quizzes. And slowly we are going towards practical assignments, right, which is going to help us have them do practice on their own, right, and learn those concepts on their own. So a lot of strengths. Similarly, there's some challenges also, as we all know, because as instructors, teachers, we need to be very, very mindful, right, when we select any technological tool. And we need to make sure that there is no issue of inclusiveness, because at times what I've seen is when you make use of technology, right, not everyone in your class would have access to all the right tools. So you need to balance use of technology in a way that you could be inclusive in your approach. All these students should be able to participate. It should not be such that, okay, some people who have availability of the right tools, they're able to maybe basically contribute better as compared to some of the other people who might not be able to afford some of those technological things like a laptop or basically a phone and things like that. And I know even government is supporting some initiatives, right, wherein students are able to get some of these things, right, so that they could participate, right, when they're going for certain advanced courses like engineering, management, and other places. Second thing which we need to remember from the our pedagogical perspective is how we are creating our graded assignments and assessments. So we need to again keep in mind as instructors that when we are using technology, we need to also make sure that that technology use should benefit students. It should not be something wherein if students don't understand those tools, those tools knowledge or how they're able to use that tools to submit their assessments should not impact their grades. So we need to basically create a structure wherein we'll be able to help them, right, by showing them in an experiential way how some of these tools should be used in a good way. And initially, we should help them learn those tricks and tips around those tools so that when they actually start doing their assessments, right, especially when they're going towards modification and redefinition phase of the SAMR model, they're able to contribute positively, right, and it is not impacting their grades. And the last challenge is we need to be very, very equitable, because as I said earlier also, right, not all students would have access to same technology. So we need to again check with the students, right, what technological access they have and create a balanced environment, right, wherein that should not become a barrier. People, especially the students who are attending, right, they should have access to all the right tools, and you need to balance your use of technology, right, according to that. So again, we talked about challenges. There are many opportunities as well when we use SAMR model. So this basically helps students to develop critical thinking, because as you go from enhancement to transformation by going through all the 4 steps, this gives the opportunity to students to do more engaged interaction in terms of what you are trying to have them learn as part of their skills. And as we know, this model is more like a move up the ladder, right? So you start from the bottom, but as you go towards up, like modification and redefinition, this really helps you to have higher level of learning, right, with use of technology. So that really helps the students to have that critical thinking skills, which is something which is very important considering the practical usage of the topics, what they're learning and how it is required to be used in industry or the practical scenario. Second opportunity is technological skills, because if you use the SAMR model, this gives students the freedom to experiment with different technological tools. And one thing which is really beneficial here is, in a way, they might be able to come up with many innovative ideas which might not have been possible earlier because they did not have access to technological tools. So that is one of the advantages and basic opportunity what we have here. And the third opportunity we have is self-regulated skills. So at times, when we make use of technology and SAMR model, we only think about what is outlined in our course. But at times, right, some of these skills could be developed in a way that you are creating higher order thinking in these students, and they're able to just not adhere to skills what they need to learn through our ICT tools, but they can maybe apply that and maybe learn new innovative ways and come up with something new, right, which was not even thought about as a skill in the original course outline. And the last part is, I mean, in a way, when we use SAMR model, there are certain specific recommendations which are very important, right, as instructors. So when you are trying to make use of SAMR model, right, you need to ask yourself 3 questions. In a way, when I'm making use of technology, is it going to help me improve in how I'm delivering the content, how the assignment and assessments would be delivered by the students, and are they not going to be facing any challenges around that? There's something, the first thing you need to ask, right, when you're designing, right, implementation of SAMR model in your own courses. Second is why we are trying to integrate technology. Technology is definitely an enabler, and in a way, it's going to be helping you. But more importantly, we need to look at, right, we are not merely making use of technology just from the perspective of that I am forced to do that. You need to look at how technology is going to add value in the complete teaching learning process, as we saw in the SAMR model, specifically from going from enhancement to transformation. And that is how you should choose the right technology, ICT education technology, when you're implementing some of these things. And more importantly, as an instructor, you need to ask a question when you're going for a particular course: at what level of SAMR model I'm trying to reach when I'm implementing a certain course outline and how I'm trying to use technology. Am I going to be just stopping at the bottom 2 layers, or I want to go to the top two layers of modification and redefinition? So my suggestion is we should always start from bottom of the ladder and go to the top levels slowly, so that we are bringing in that high order thinking, right, which is needed, as well as the critical think which is needed in the students to follow. So that's the SAMR model. This is something which is I highly recommend, right, all of you to follow in your teaching learning process. So we are seeing a big shift, right, in terms of how future classrooms are being created. I'm going to be showcasing a small video wherein this video showcases, right, how technology is being used currently to create a future classroom, right? And we are trying to make use of all the emerging technologies which are out there.
Analyzing text using ChatGPT, learning how to play the piano using AI-powered gloves, or understanding the anatomy of the human heart in virtual reality. The future of learning looks bright. That's our topic on Shift. Using cutting-edge technology to reimagine the way we learn sounds pretty exciting. But in many schools around the world, like here in Germany, you'd be happy just to find a working computer. Still, innovative methods of teaching are being tested all the time. Studies show that students using VR and AR are more curious and more engaged. They also seem to learn more in comparison to a traditional classroom environment. Experts predict that the global market for VR in education will grow from about 8 billion euros in 2022 to more than 42 billion euros in 2027. So how does virtual reality in education work? Take a look.
Van Gogh's masterpieces exhibited in the classroom, viewable in VR. Grazing mammoths in front of a VR school, and faraway planets suddenly an arm's length away. With the help of VR headsets and controllers, students at Redham House Berkshire School can tackle their subject matter up close. Biology lessons are also far more interactive in virtual reality.
So my wife is an anatomist, so they use something similar, right, for teaching the human anatomy, right? And there's something which is becoming more mainstream because I'm able to visualize things in 3D and actually go and see, right, what's happening inside a human body part. Same thing could be applied to engineering concept, right? We are trying to teach certain maybe different types of engines, right? So I can show those engines in 3D, what exactly happens inside those engines and things like that. And again, most of this is more experiential in a way, wherein, as I said earlier,
Dr. Rizwan, the voice is a little weak, not very nicely audible.
Okay, is it better, sir, now? Are you talking about the video voice or my voice, sir?
Previous, your voice was also like that, but now it is okay. Video voice this time is very weak. We are not able to capture it.
Okay. So I'm already sharing the link here. So I'm hoping, right, in a way, if you're not able to hear it properly, so the slide deck would be shared, right, with the organizers so that you can take a, what should I say, a better look, right, post this session. And I'm hoping, right, the audio should be clear to you. If not, right, I'm sharing these links once again.
Okay, thank you.
Have a big beating heart, and you can see the flow of blood through it, and you can understand the chambers and the valves. It's literally walk through a heart, things like that. So yeah, really, really useful for children's deeper understanding of what they're studying.
For teachers, this opens up many new possibilities.
We've used virtual reality across every subject as part of our pilot for virtual reality. Some of the most impressive things we can do are science experiments that would otherwise be impossible or too dangerous to do in a classroom.
Virtual reality is already being integrated into vocational training. Trainees at a Mercedes-Benz workshop use VR to practice painting cars. This way, they can learn to consistently keep the same distance.
Again, this is more like experiential learning. You're not painting a real car, but you could exactly learn the same process, right? How a real car would be painted. And this is something which is going to be very beneficial for the students.
Which is tricky for beginners. Education expert Benjamin Passen says it's an ideal use case.
The advantage of interactive educational technologies like virtual reality or augmented reality lies in the possibility of practicing different scenarios without the risk of damaging material or putting people in harm's way. You can also repeat the same scenario over and over again, so there's a practice effect.
Getting your reps in virtual reality definitely has its advantages. Imagine the benefits for surgical students who can hone in their skills in a VR environment. Researchers in Dresden are working on something called the Internet of Skills. The idea is to equip people with smart gadgets so they can learn from the comfort of their own home. Check it out.
Learning real-world skills using AI. Researchers are experimenting with machines that could...
So you see some kind of a skateboard here, right? So we have also worked in similar industry for some of our customers. So if you want to play golf, you can play it virtually. And maybe you could see, right, what your swing is. You can learn to play golf online, right, and things like that. So we worked on some of the similar solutions in our company, right, providing such innovative way, right, using AR, VR, XR, right. And same thing could be applied in education, right, depending upon what we are helping them learn, right. And that is where we are seeing, right, more immersive use of technology coming into play, wherein we are trying to have them learn certain things, how they will practically do, right, if they make use of some of those tools.
They teach us complex activities like surfing.
Yeah, I'm ready for a while.
A smart suit fitted with sensors is also in development. The user's movements are recorded and compared to what they should ideally be. The data is stored.
Here you have haptic feedback. So you are able to basically capture the movements and things like that. And that data is processed in real time. And that is something, again, which is beneficial, right, in terms of especially how some of the modern usage, right, considering the different diverse industries we work in, right? And people who are responsible to basically make use of haptic feedback, right? And more importantly, interacting with certain things with gestures and things like that. So this is something which is very innovative technology. We are making huge changes, right? Because of haptics coming into picture in different business use cases as we are seeing.
Cloud. The user receives feedback through visual cues or movements from the suit. A small motor called an actuator converts electrical signals into motion.
Here at SETI, we want to build the internet of the future, what we call the tactile internet. So far, the internet has provided access to information. With the internet of skills, we could also provide on.
This is a new concept called as, I mean, we all know internet as a whole, then we heard Internet of Things, right? So now we are seeing a term called as tactile internet, right? In a way, we should be able to do a lot of things, right? Maybe with our gestures, and through those gestures, right, we can talk to machines, and these machines would do those things for us. And we are already seeing a lot of use cases happening in manufacturing, as you can see a robotic arm here, right? Similarly, in warehousing, right, wherein you want maybe certain things to happen, right, based on your gestures or voice commands. So slowly, this is becoming more and more mainstream, right, in terms of how these different use cases are coming into picture.
Access to the abilities that another person has. So if someone is good at baking or playing the piano, you can learn that skill from home or have it performed for you at home.
Haptic gloves help the wearer learn to play piano. This smart suit analyzes and corrects body.
So again, you don't need to know how to play piano. That haptic gloves will help you maybe learn to play that piano because it's already programmed to do that. So as a human, I'm just acting as maybe someone who is just getting that experience through that haptic gloves. But ultimately, everything is being controlled by the software and haptic gloves, right, in a way to get you that experience. So it's a long video, about 12.5 minutes. So there are more such use cases which are showcased, right, in a way, how some of these things could be utilized in a good way, right, and how new technology is coming in, right, in terms of bringing in transformation, right, from the learning and ICT perspective, right, and we are trying to make everything more experiential as we are going forward, and it's becoming more immersive. As a user, right, I could be more involved. I could see what's happening, how it is happening, right, and maybe make my learning experience, right, maybe a lot more efficient, quicker, and maybe the process is very enjoyable, right? That is what we are seeing with the use of technology. So I highly recommend you to watch this remainder of the video. In interest of time, right, I'm just skipping this because I may have another 10-15 minutes, right, before I open it up to Q&A, right, to make it more interactive.
Analyzing tech.
Again, one more video. This is from China, right? And this is one of the future schools, what they're building. This is something which showcases, right, how they are building some of these futuristic schools. And this is happening like at many places in China. And idea here is how they can use these emerging immersive ICT technology in day-to-day education. And especially the students, right? They could use these technologies, right, to build certain things while they're still in school, right, and or a college, and start innovating, right, by making use of these technologies which are out there.
Some people say, if you come to China and want to learn about the past, go to Beijing. If you want to know the present modern China, go to Shanghai. But if you want to know what the future looks like, go to Shenzhen. And I agree, Shenzhen is a vibrant young metropolis with an urban planning that emphasizes sustainability, efficient public transportation, and smart city technologies. Shenzhen is also well known for having some of the best and most modern schools in the whole country. Many schools in Shenzhen are equipped with smart classroom technologies, with digital whiteboards, tablets, and online learning platforms. The integration of technology into the curriculum is common, with coding, robotics, and artificial intelligence being part of the learning experience in.
You can see coding, robotics, AI, right? All that is immersive, right? And they are more importantly having facilities like 3D printing and all that, right? And that's where they are making them learn, right? A lot of these things, and they're just not doing it theoretically, right? They have proper labs in place using which students are able to innovate most of these things, right? And apart from doing the innovation, they're able to commercialize some of these things as well, right?
I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about. This is a regular high school in Shenzhen. You will find a lot of open and green spaces. This is a science library. This is also a regular classroom equipped with high-definition screens and 5G. A modern and well-equipped biology laboratory. This is a robotics lab.
You can see as part of the robotics lab, they have all the different types of, they can innovate, experiment, do changes, right? Considering the different use cases which are out there. So again, in interest of time, I'm just skipping this video. It's about 12.5 minutes. So they have showcased, right, how they have completely transformed the complete learning process, right? By providing most of the modern ICT tools, and they have inculcated that, right, as part of their complete education process, what they're trying to bring in. And that's where we all know, right? I mean, in terms of technical skills, practical skills, right? And maybe developing, especially hardware solutions, right? China is like a lot ahead of India. And that's where we need to implement our ICT education in a way that we should be able to just not catch up with them, but become better than them, right? So that, especially from the perspective of doing modern manufacturing and things like that, right? We have the right talent available within India. So slowly, a lot of initiatives are coming around that, right? But we may need to accelerate this process. And that's where I'm hoping people who are attending this session, all the mentors, instructors, and teachers and professors, right? They're able to inculcate, right, and bring in these ICT technologies in our day-to-day learning process using the SAMO model I just showcased few minutes back, right? And maybe make it more intuitive and beneficial for some of our students. Does anyone know who the gentleman in the video is? I'm just showing a person on this slide. If you know the answer, right, maybe either you can unmute yourself or use the chat window, right, just to answer who this person is. And again, he's someone, right? I mean, he's known very well throughout the world. He is the founder of a company called as Khan Academy. It's not for profit. He has received many grants from many companies like Microsoft and others, completely transformed, right, how underprivileged students from third world country, right, could still benefit from the solutions what they're developing. So again, he is basically delivering a TEDx talk here, wherein he's talking about how AI could be used, right, in education. And he's also talking about, like, maybe there is some negative commotion. We all think that there could be a negative impact of AI. So he's going to be talking about how that negativity could be removed, right? And we can convert all the AI advantages and maybe bring in solutions, right, in the education and ICT world. So again, this is a very good TEDx talk about how to use ICT. 15.5 minutes. But I'll just show you some opening.
Anyone who's been paying attention for the last few months has been seeing headlines like this, especially in education. The thesis has been students are going to be using ChatGPT and other forms of AI to cheat, do their assignments. They're not going to learn. And it's going to completely undermine education as we know it. Now, what I'm going to argue today is not only are there ways to mitigate all of that. If we put the right guardrails, we do the right things, we can mitigate it. But I think we're at the cusp of using AI for probably the biggest positive transformation that education has ever seen. And the way we're going to do that is by giving every student on the planet an artificially intelligent but amazing personal tutor. And we're going to give every teacher.
So what they're doing at Khan Academy is they're creating a personal tutor. So if I go and log into their portal, there is going to be a personalized tutor, and based on how I'm interacting with the AI tutor, it's going to be maybe helping me learn in a better way. And that is completely personalized. That's the beauty of this, because as individual teachers, we need to adjust our personalization, right, depending upon who the student is. And at times it becomes very difficult, right, if there are many students in the class, right? Some people might find it not relevant, right, how you're trying to go and teach a concept, right, at the lowest level so that everyone understands in the class. And that's where having an AI agent or AI tool, which is completely personalized, considering how I'm learning certain things, right, is something which is very, very innovative, right? And that's what Khan Academy is doing right now. They already have a product which is in beta, which is going to be launched for everyone's use. And they're basically building it in a way, right, that it is going to be completely personalized in a way how you're learning some concepts. So that's the beauty of it. So I'll just spend 2-3 more minutes just to see what he's talking, and then I'll go into last 4-5 slides, right, before I open it for more questions and answers.
On the planet, an amazing artificially intelligent teaching assistant. And just to appreciate how big of a deal it would be to give everyone a personal tutor, I show you this clip from Benjamin Bloom's 1984 2 Sigma study, or he called it the 2 Sigma problem. The 2 Sigma comes from 2 standard deviations, sigma the symbol for standard deviation. And he had good data that showed that, look, a normal distribution, that's the one that you see in the traditional bell curve right in the middle, that's how the world kind of sorts itself out, that if you were to give personal one-to-one tutoring for students, then you can actually get a distribution that looks like that right. It says tutorial one-to-one with the asterisk, like that right distribution, a 2 standard deviation improvement. Just to put that in plain language, that could take your average student and turn them into an exceptional student. It can take your below average student and turn them into an above average student. Now, the reason why he framed it as a problem was he said, well, this is all good, but how do you actually scale group instruction this way? How do you actually give it to everyone in an economic way? What I'm about to show you is, I think, the first moves towards doing that. Obviously, we've been trying to approximate it in some way at Khan Academy for over a decade now, but I think we're at the cusp of accelerating it dramatically. I'm going to show you the early stages of what our AI, which we call Khanmigo, what it can now do, and maybe a little bit of where it is actually going. So this right over here is a traditional exercise that you or many of your children might have seen on Khan Academy. But what's new is that little bot thing at the right. And we'll start by seeing one of the very important safeguards, which is the conversation is recorded and viewable by your teacher. It's moderated actually by a second AI. And also, it does not tell you the answer. It is not a cheating tool. Notice, when the student says, tell me the answer, it says, I'm your tutor. What do you think is the next step for solving the problem? Now, if the student makes a mistake, and this will surprise people who think large language models are not good at mathematics, notice not only does it notice the mistake, it asks the student to explain their reasoning, but it's actually doing what I would say not just even an average tutor would do, but an excellent tutor would do. It's able to divine what is probably the misconception in that student's mind, that they probably didn't use the distributive properly. Remember, we need to distribute the -2 to both the 9 and the 2m inside of the parentheses. This to me is a very, very, very big deal. And it's not just in math. This is a computer.
So this bot, Khanmigo, what they have developed is basically running a large language model behind the scene. And as a student, right, if I'm doing an assignment and maybe if I'm doing something wrong, it is able to help me correct what I'm doing wrong and things like that. And more importantly, there is an oversight by the instructor, and whatever exchange is happening between, the student and the bot in this case, the complete transcript of that chat is accessible to the instructor. So that if I want to see, right, in a way, how they're interacting, what they're asking, whether they're learning those things or not, right? As an instructor, I can look at that. And that's the way I can personalize, right? I can look at the whole class of, say, suppose 100 people, 1000 people and see, right? Who are my top 10 people, who are my average people, who are my bottom 10 people. And I can maybe basically spend more time in personalizing, right? If I'm trying to interact, right, with them. An idea here is, as he showed the Bell's curve, right? We are trying to convert average student to excellent students. That's the whole idea here. And that's where we are trying to make use of technology in a good way, right? So that they're able to learn the concepts on their own, at their own pace, right? And we are trying to personalize it, and they can ask any type of question to the bot, and the bot is going to help them solve it. And it's going to be an amazing technology, right? Which is going to be transforming how we are basically learning everything.
Any exercise on Khan Academy where...
So in interest of time, I'm skipping this. It's a very good TEDx talk. There, he has completely showcased, right, how this tool is being developed. And it's just not for mathematics, right? They're developing it across for all subjects which are out there. And I'm hoping, right, this tool is something which they put it in some kind of public domain, right? So that instructors like you and me, right, could utilize this tool in a good way, right? So that in a way, the teaching learning process becomes better. So again, coming back to the topic of my session, right? So I gave you a lot of examples how the salmon model is being used. But again, if you look at ICT use in India, right, it has taken a lot of changes, right, over a period of time. As you can see, the whole process started way back in 1972, right, wherein we had ET scheme, class project, NP, EduSat, right, wherein a lot of these things were implemented. Then I would say 2012 was the year, right, wherein we did a huge shift, wherein we tried to bring in our own ICT policy, created an ICT curriculum, right? And then we had bigger initiatives like Digital India, which included e-Pathshala, Swayam MOOCs, Swayam Prabha, right? Possibly our own DTH channels, right, which were launched around that time, right? And now we have things like Samagra Shiksha, Cyber Shiksha, and other initiatives, right? So slowly, right, as part of NEP, we are all seeing, right, some of these initiatives, right, are getting accelerated in a good way, right? So that we can make use of ICT technology, right, to make our teaching learning process better. So here are some of the recommendations as far as online and digital education is considered. Apart from what I talked about in the SAMA model, right, we need to always focus on all the bullet points which are mentioned here, right? We need to always look at, right, how I can go for pilot studies for online education before I launch the course in a big way, so that I know, right, in a more controlled environment, what is working, what is not working. And based on that, I can make adjustments. I need to make sure I have the proper digital infrastructure in place to maybe scale up and scale down, right, depending upon my learners' strength. And that is something, again, we need to keep in mind, right? And this needs to be the backbone of how we are trying to make use of ICT. Again, we need to use online teaching platforms and tools. So one of the good examples could be using tools like LMS, wherein you try to follow the SAMA model as I've showcased, right, to make the whole process more transformational as much as possible. Again, we should also focus on digital divide, wherein it should not be the case that, okay, that only few people are able to benefit it from what we are trying to do. So we need to look at, instead of doing telecast, which is one time, it should be broadcast, right, wherein it could be one-on-one, right? I can do it when I want to look at the content. Again, we should have right content creation and strategy. The repositories should be maintained properly, and dissemination should happen maybe in a proper way. And the most important part, right, of this teaching learning process, as we all know as instructors and teachers and professors, are assessments and examinations. And in most cases, I'm seeing, right, the new modern use of ICT technologies for doing more proctored exams, wherein using AI, right, I can find out if someone is cheating, right, at looking at the face, how someone is blinking the eyes, right, at what step I'm selecting my answers and things like that, right? So a lot of good use cases are coming around proctored examinations because of that. And on the right, as teachers, we need to always look at how we are going to be building digital competencies. As instructors and professors, we need to keep learning so that we could basically use this, right, for our benefit. Again, our content, pedagogy, and technology integration needs to be done in a more synchronous way, because as I said earlier, technology is an enabler. Our focus needs to be on what skills we are trying to build. And this enabler needs to maybe help us do this teaching learning process, right, in a better way. Again, we need to always look at blended models of learning. It should be a combination of physical and online learning, experiential learning as much as possible. There needs to be some kind of incentives, right, to the students as well as faculty members, professors, instructors who are creating these ICT solutions. And most importantly, which is very critical, is as enablers, right, we need to lay down certain standards. And we are seeing that already happening, right, in many cases. So here are some of the major digital initiatives what we are seeing in India. So PME Vidya, Diksha, ePathshala, Nishtha, Swayam, and ICT curriculum, right? These are some of the top initiatives what we are seeing in India, right? And that's where I highly recommend, right, all the people who are part of this session, they should look at how to better utilize some of these digital initiatives when we're trying to make use of our ICT technologies as a whole. Again, we all need to remember, right, that we have many disruptive and new technologies, emerging technologies coming into picture. And some of the examples I've already talked in my sessions, like AI, 3D, 7D, augmented reality, extended reality, right? These are completely disruptive technologies. But before we involve some of these technologies, it is very important that we do extensive research and create some of the technology-enabled solutions, which are basically tested completely before we roll it out to basically a larger audience. And that's where we can look at all the solutions like AI, ML, deep learning, generative AI, blockchain, smart boards, right? Handheld computing devices, right? What we saw earlier, right? Adaptive computer testing, right? As I was explaining in case of proctored exams, and any and every other forms of educational software and hardware, right? We need to look at what is going to be relevant in terms of what we are trying to do. And the third and the last thing is, before we scale up, right, we need to always look at how I'm integrating my technology, right, for my improving my education. And this needs to be done in a rigorous and transparent way. And that's where you need to collect a lot of feedback, which is going to be from the learners and students, as well as from instructors. And more importantly, when we're using these tools, they themselves collect a lot of logs. And using those logs, we can do a lot of analytics and find out what is working, what is not working. So in an industry, we follow something called as A/B testing, wherein we know, right, in a way, if I'm giving option A to some users and option B to some users, which one is performing better and things like that. So that is something which we can always implement when we're trying to make use of ICT technologies. So we all know NEP 2020 is giving a lot of importance to ICT technology as a whole. So idea here is how we can leverage and make use of technology. But at the same time, we need to also look at what could be potential risk and dangers. So when I was showing that Salcan video, right, I just wanted to make sure, right, we are also looking at potential dangers, right, how technology could be misused. And that is where we need to put some guardrails or controls in place. Again, before going for many large-scale digital or online education initiatives, we should always do pilots. Even NEP 2020 recommends that, because without doing pilots, doing a large-scale deployment is not going to help you. Third thing is, we should be always looking at optimizing and expanding our existing digital platforms, because some of these technologies require huge investment. So we need to always look at how we can recoup our investment in the existing solutions we may have, and at the same time, how we can continue to modernize them. And the fourth and last recognition and important thing which NEP recommends is using technology for online and digital education is going to be something which we need to do from the perspective of equity. It should not be that only some people have access to it and others might be disadvantaged, right, because they don't have access to the technology. And that is where we need to make it equitable for everyone, even if you're making use of technology. So here are some of the digital resources which we all can use as part of our ICT technology portfolio. So I can use interactive simulations, AR, VR, XRs. I can have digital games-based resources. Maybe I can have same content available in multiple languages. Maybe the subtitles, what I'm getting, right? They could be in multiple languages. I can also have option of having offline content. Again, the content what I'm creating, it could be open license. And that is where a lot of people are trying to come up with content, right? Which is not owned by a particular organization, or there is no issue of digital rights and things like that. Self-paced MOOCs is something we all are already aware about. Is something which is coming in a huge way, right? Across many education sectors, and more importantly, this is becoming more and more personalized, as I was showcasing in the case of Khan Academy. Again, we could have simulated content using virtual labs. We could have features like text to speech, speech to text. We can add image description using generative AI and things like that. And last is digital library, wherein we can have interactive books, wherein when I'm trying to learn something, I can basically do it in a more experiential way. So all in all, you have a lot of ICT technology solutions available, which could be incorporated in a good way to create content which is more engaging. And at the same time, it provides that flipped learning, what we are trying to create for all the student learners who are out there. So with that, I would like to give few minutes, right, to everyone, right, to ask any questions. I know I had very limited time, so I wanted to make sure, right, I talk at a very high level to cover usage of ICT technologies in education, and more importantly, what trends we are seeing from the industry perspective, right, in terms of how to make best use of ICT in bringing in the transformation, what we are trying to do. So I'll give it back to the organizers so that if there are any audience questions, I can answer this.
Yeah, Dr. Rizwan, if I have your permission.
Sir, you don't need to ask permission, sir. You please give orders, sir.
That is where I was coming. I have only two observations to make, which I was throughout your deliberations pondering upon. Number one, I remember maybe he was your classmate or what, Akash Gupta, if you remember, 1999, 2000, like that. He was a student of electronics engineering. And that time we had worked upon a paper which he submitted and presented in Delhi, in the Association of Indian Engineers conference on convergence technology. Right. 1999, 2000, convergence technology was coming in slowly and gradually. So what I make up is, today it is the convergence of teaching, learning, information, knowledge, content, all that. And therefore, the species of teacher is slowly and gradually going to become extinct. There will be only learners and learners and learners and lifelong learners. You see, and so I feel sometimes happy, not a praise for me. I don't know what intuition came to my mind some 60 years ago, that I named myself Hari Mohan Jha Vidyarthi. So you have to be learner. So that is one thing which I picked up from your deliberation. Second, the approach of the institution has to now see a drastic shift. We are now supposed to invest on acquisition of ICT tools, appropriate modern ICT tools in our institution, number one. And number two, we also need to invest in training in how to use these ICT tools, not only to the so-called teachers and faculty members and staff, but also to the students. If that happens, probably then only we will be able to leverage the use of ICT in education. So these were the two observations I had to make. So thank you, Dr. Rizwan.
Thank you so much, Jha sir. Those are very pertinent observations. On the first point, right, I would like to say, and I mean, most of the learned audience, right, who is here, right, and all experienced professors who are here, right, they'll slowly possibly agree to what I'm going to be saying now, right? Our role as instructors, faculty, and teachers is going to be going away, right, from being instructors and become more like facilitators. That is where we all need to shift our focus, right? In a way, earlier we used to be imparting the complete knowledge, right? Maybe in a more
It's 1
instructive way.
o'clock.
So now we need to make use of these ICT technologies and make sure that we become facilitators. So the students can learn a lot of things on their own, but at the same time, we act as facilitators when we are helping them learn those concepts in more experiential way, utilizing technology. And they should look at using us, right, in terms of like maybe how they can maybe whatever concepts they're learning, they can validate those things through us. Maybe we provide the platform, right, wherein they're able to kind of fast track that and maybe convert their innovative ideas and maybe discussions what they're having through those deliberations, right, into practical and business use cases. So all in all, right, on number one, I'm trying to say is we all need to become facilitators, and that is where our focus should be. And for that, we need to start learning, right, some of these ICT tools ourselves and how to make best use of them. And as Jha sir, you rightly said, we at our educational institute, we need to start looking at investing and acquiring the right ICT tools, which is going to be beneficial for our professors, faculty members, right, in terms of how to facilitate this whole process in a better way and help students become better learners. And I'm glad, sir. It's very good to know, right? I mean, you gave your own example with a name, right? Vidyarthi, right? I hope all of us think, right, that way that okay, we all need to be lifelong learners, right? And you have been so fortunate to have that in your name, right? And again, I have some good memories of interactions with you while being in college. And Akash Gupta, whom you're talking about, he is my senior in the college, 1 year senior to me. I'm still in touch with him, right? So all in all, right, what I'm trying to say is this convergence and ICT use cases, right, is going to be something which is going to be beneficial for all of us, right, as educators in future. Any more questions from any other members? So I'm not sure if anyone from the organizing team is here. Anyone from the UGC MMTTC team here? I think I'm mostly done from my session. If there are no more questions, what I would do is I'll share this slide deck with the organizers, and I'm hoping they're able to pass it on to all the people who attended the session. Once again, I feel very privileged and honored to be part of this session. I thank the organizers, right, for having me here.
Thank you, Dr. Rizwan. Once again, let me thanks to you on behalf of SHGMC. We are meeting after a very long gap, and you mentioned our aim is to convert average student into the excellent. So we are also focusing on this aspect. So we require your support, and particularly ICT tools plays very important role in current era. And definitely there are very innovations and the things are going on. Until somewhere we are using, but till whatever you have mentioned, all are helping to us. Thank you once again. Good day.
Thank you so much, Dr. Somani, sir. And again, anywhere I could contribute for the growth of the institute and growth of our Amravati University, right? I'll be more than privileged considering both the places being my alma mater. And I really feel proud whenever I see some of the good things which are happening out of the institute, right? And being in touch with all the esteemed faculty members who are here. So again, this is an absolute honor, as I said earlier also. Thank you.
We get to see in campus once again because we are interacting with you. Personally, when we are working on the autonomy, once again, the thought process we need to, you have the feel of even the institute and the academic and the industry also. So once again, your support will be in need in coming days.
I'll be more than happy to do that, sir. Anything which I can extend in my personal capacity, organizational capacity, I'll be more than happy to do that. I'm very happy to see the progress and stride which our college is making under your able leadership and other esteemed faculties who are here.
Thank you once again.
Thank you once again, sir.
So wish you to see you soon physically. Virtually we have seen. So let us hope that you are in our campus and we meet together. Okay.
That would be, sir, really nice. Let's plan that this year sometime, maybe 3 months. Yeah. I'll work with some of you all offline, and I'll be more than privileged to be back on campus.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you once again, everyone. I really appreciate you all joining and making this session interactive, and your participation is something, right, I'm hoping is going to be helpful for the student community at large. Thank you once again, everyone.
Mr. Ankit, please conclude.